Devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand. Call
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for taking the time to join us this evening. I'd like to say welcome to our tyrant eradication team. Yo, look at this joint. This is for the people. I actually had one dude say it was cringe, but I don't know. I think that's kind of fire. What do y'all think? Tyrant eradication team. It's got homie with the chopper. I know it's the chopper. And then he's rocking a DLD patch on his shoulder, bro. Let me know if you'd rock that. And then we got the whoopsies. My bad. And shout out to anybody who can guess what kind of rifle that is. Oh, it must be an AR, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Is it? Is it? Is it? Hold on, my audio is kind of off a little bit. Hold on. Put some more bass. Put some more bass. Put some more snare in my headphones. All right. Let's go ahead and get this in. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Let's go ahead and get started. So, first off, I'd like to say congratulations to the first person in chat, which happened to be Kurt24. And you know what? Kurt24 and yours truly are both rocking the same beanie right now. Yes, the new DLD beanie. I know it's fire. Kurt, congratulations on being first, my guy. And also a Chinamemba. You're due at least one crisp high five. Psh, congrats, my man. Great to see you. So let's go through and let's welcome all of our Chinamembas. And let's also remind all of our friends here that we have the new channel at DLD TV 2023. And we just posted another which would you choose short. I know, dude, and it's gonna get so much crazier, and there's gonna be so like I'm gonna take this whole like rhyming and the strap Dr. Seuss so far, like it's gonna be crazy. Um, it's just gonna get more and more ridiculous. I just need to let y'all know that right now. But anyway, let's go ahead and let's say what's up to all the Chenaman Buzz. We got Toy Town Inc. in the building. What's up, brother Toy Town Inc.? Great to see you in here. Key ASC, what's up, fam? Great to see you. Also a Chenamemba. I appreciate you, my guy. We got Blue Curtain Burner in the building. Great to see you also with Chenamemba. Let's see, Kurt 24, Toy Town Inc. Yeah, and also channel members sound off so we can go through and say what's up and welcome all y'all. We got Shauna Memba, also a channel member. Great to see you. You know, she's back. What do those guys say? They're like, oh, working the board, like the producers, you know. She's working the board. So is Kurt and Sport Brand and all all those guys and gals. Let's see, Kurt 24, gutted cheese, my guy, bro. I was going around on Twitter and I saw a very interesting 22 LR project out there, and I was like, yo, is that Mr. Fromage himself with the perp deuce deuce? Um, yeah, yeah, that's what's up. Looks like a dope project. If you guys remember, you guys remember those CO2 BB guns where it had like a strip of like pellets, right? And then you kind of put the strip in there, and then when you fire, it like ratchets the strip across the B. You know what I'm saying? Like the old school BB guns. It was like that, only a 22 LR, all 3D printed. It was beautiful. It's beautiful. Let's see. Key ASC, Kurt 24, Mr. Fromage. Let's see. Got a cheese. Zanti Misfits, my guy. Great to see you, man. Appreciate you coming and hanging out as well. Also with Chanamemba. And it seems like Mike McClune is a little under the weather. So let's give him some positive energy in the chat here tonight. Okay. Mike McClune says, been feeling under the weather, riding the recliner the last 2 days at home. Felt hungry this evening, so I made some scrambled eggs and a piece of cornbread for dinner. You made a piece of corn. You made a piece of cornbread, or did you like heat up a piece of cornbread? Store bought. What are we talking about over here? All right. Great to see you though, brother. Appreciate you. Hope you feel better. Get some vitamin C and some stuff up in you. Joe Morris, what's up, brother? How about those sausages, Tommy? I I don't know. Is that like a thing? Should I know what he's talking about? Joe Morris, great to see you, bro. Also a Chanamemba from like the beginning, bro. From the beginning. Let's see. Blue Curtain Burners, Anti Misfit, Kurt 24, Shauna. Hey, and here we are. We got Mr. Goombeam himself. This dude is coming out with crazy flashlights, bro. Max Glowy edition. Look at the man. I don't even know how this thing even. I swear it's alien technology. Okay, if you've not seen the Goom Beams that are on the market, and just so you know, you are. Oh snap! People are calling me. Hold on one second. Yeah, let me tell homie to cough. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm on my live stream, homie. I'll let you back. Love you. That was Invader Zip. Yes, I told him I love him. Who doesn't love Invader Zip? You know what I'm saying? Zanti Misfit, Kurt 24, Key ASC, Shana Memba, Blue Curtain Burner. Yeah, for everybody that like people that are just coming in here that have literally no idea what's going on, what we do here when we start a live stream, we greet everyone, we welcome them, we show appreciation within our community. So some people are going to see this and they're not going to be able to get through even the first, 10 minutes of this, right? But they don't get it, right? They don't understand that we gotta show some love within the community. You know what I mean? Santi Misfit, Johnny Bob, what's up, brother? Also a Chinamemba, appreciate you, my guy. Great seeing you. No audio. What? What are you talking about? No audio. Please don't tell me that I ain't got no audio, bro. Don't do that to me. Zanti, Shana, Tuck Firance, what up? Anthony Smith, there you are. Bro, Anthony, I didn't forget about you, dog. You know what? Just so you know. Oh, where is it? I got a patch with your name on it, bro. Literally one singular DLD patch chilling down there somewhere. But when Rich came over, I had to I had to, literally throw shit all over the place just to make those live streams work with him here. Prepper Book Club, what's up, brother? Also a Chinamemba. I appreciate you, my guy. Let's see, Kurt 24, Prepper Book Club. Hey, Red Dawn Readiness. What's up, fam? Good to see you. And yes, I did. You'll see that there is a new like acrylic like shelf thing back here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Glockas on that bad boy. Yeah, so just want to show off them things. Morning Star, bro. Great to see you, man. Hell yeah, man. You too, brother. Appreciate you. JFC Golf. You know what? Send me a bean. I got your messages, man. I was just so tied up and then I crashed and I'll get back to you. I promise. I promise. Let's actually talk after the live stream. Okay. Promise. Pinky promise. Let's see. C&T Designs and Arms. What's up, brother? Great to see you. Also with Chinamemba, my guy. I appreciate you. TMC in the building and Safety Habit. Okay, let me ask this. Somebody asked me for my shipping address, which every now and then people may find out that if you could send items to 42395 Ryan Road, Suite 112, Box 186. Ashburn, Virginia 20148. I may have gotten a PO box in Crumb's neighborhood. I mean, it's not a super big deal. But anyway, somebody said that they're going to be sending something to Dark, and I was like, hold on, what could they possibly be sending? So I'm super pumped about a potential surprise here. Yeah, yeah, I'm pumped. Love you. Gort, what's up, brother? Great to see you. Evan Budzinski, what's up, fam? Look at all these beautiful channel members coming up in here. Agorizer, also a channel member. I appreciate you. Let me know if you guys are down with Flying Rich, my guy. Good to see you, man. Also a channel member. Also, I was physically with him in person for another day and a half, and I also really was a terrible host because having a house guest here and then also having like 40 packages that I had to get out was a bad combination. But I appreciate you, man. I'm glad we got to hang out. Let's see. And everyone else, all the honorable mentions. We got Vanessa Kitty. We got Morning Star. What's up, bro? Good to see you. Tuck Firens, Safety Haba. Let's see, Vanessa Kitty, Mr. Golf himself. Tavine Ho, what up? What up? Damian Christ, my brother in Christ. Great to see you. Sport Brand, brother. Great to see you. Appreciate you coming and hanging out. Constitutional Cap into Red Dawn Readiness, thank you for the 5x5. I appreciate you. Rip Curl Readiness, what's up, bro? Big Fish, Little Boat. I love it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is about that time where we are going to bring on probably one of the coolest individuals. When I've met some great people doing this thing. All right, I've met some really good people. I've honestly, my connection with John Crump came from me sending him a random DM. Right. Let me get some nicotine real quick. People like John Crump, people like Flying Rich, people like I have met actual friends, really good friends, just in having you know come into this world of content creation or channels, YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff, and I'd say one of the people that I would consider to be a good friend personally is Dust from the Tactical Turkeys, and they've had a really interesting like genesis of their channel, and in doing this for just a year, hitting over 250,000 subscribers, having tremendous success, and just being a bunch of what most people call straight up MFGs. I wanted to have my boy Dust come on from the Tactical Turkeys and kind of just dig into a little bit deeper of that Genesis story. So, everyone, please show some love in chat for your boy Dust from the Tactical Turkeys.
What's going on, bro?
What's up, brother?
I think those are like the nicest words anybody's ever said about me, bro. I was just like,
Dang.
wow, that's some cool shit.
Okay, that's what's up, man. I appreciate that. I mean, honestly, it's you know, it's real. Like when we first were introduced to each other, actually, it was Jay the Shooter who
Yeah.
introduced us. The way he said it, 250,000. Dang, I know, Zanty. They're they're doing it out here. Fluffy Bunny Arsenal, what's up, fam? Check money, what up? Yeah, I think if I recall correctly, and shit, I forgot to call Jay the Shooter back yesterday. Dang. Um, he was like, y'all need to know each other.
Yeah, he did.
He
He's like,
literally said
y'all
it just
don't know
like
each
that.
other? He's like, y'all need to know each other. I was just like, all
Yeah.
right, no
It's
doubt.
not like, oh, I'd like to take a moment to introduce you. He said, y'all need to know each other. So, yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on. Take a moment, let everyone know kind of who you are, what you do, and where they can find you. For most people here should know about the
Yeah.
tactical turkeys and they should know Dust. But for those that don't, and those that are new to my channel that are going to see this, take a moment to let them know who you are, what you do, and where they can find you.
What's going on, guys? I'm Kick Up Dust 308 from Tactical Turkeys, on YouTube. Uh, just a regular guy who likes to shoot guns. You know what I'm saying? I like guns just like everybody else. Pro 2A, just like everybody else here. And if
Mhm.
you're not, then I don't know what you're doing here. But
Yeah.
that's about it. Like just keeping things simple for the most part.
He said, "Sign my baby."
Bro, he has this thing. Yo, he's crazy. And by
Sign
the
my
way, Big
baby.
Fish Little Boat is another turkey.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe we could also have Fish come on one day and do like, I found that I've had you guys on before. I've had you on. I've had you and Fish on. You, Fish, and Jay, and Knowledge, and all those guys. And sometimes it's good just to kind of doing like a one on one, going a little bit deeper. You know what I mean? So it's cool. It's cool. Uh, he said they don't invite me. I'm too controversial. Oh, bro, this is the show for controversy. So no, it's just I'm here for dark. Never shot a gun. That is true. This dude has literally never even handled a firearm
That's
ever.
crazy.
Yeah, he's just really creepy and sends me feet pics.
That's
Uh,
crazy.
yeah, and
That-
then he
that's
tries to charge me for him later, which is weird. But yeah, man. So you guys have had kind of a crazy story, but before we, I guess, get into the tactical turkeys and kind of how y'all kind of blew up, tell us more about Dust, like you know, about you.
so uh it's simple. I start from I like to keep things like somewhat basic, but I sometimes overtalk. So grew up in New York, Brooklyn, New York, fucking communist New York City. Um Like
Commies.
you're not supposed to have shit. Anything that the big brother doesn't like, they're gonna hammer down on you, no matter what it is. It doesn't necessarily have to be firearms. You're riding your bike on the sidewalk, getting a ticket, like shit like that. Got older, grew up, went through the paces, got older. It's like I'm getting the fuck out of here, and
Hold on,
that's
hold on. If you ride your bike on the sidewalk, you get a ticket.
absolutely,
You're supposed to ride in the street.
absolutely,
That's foreign to
absolutely,
me. That's crazy.
absolutely,
I would
absolutely. We'll get a
I would
ticket riding your bike on the sidewalk over there. Absolutely,
That's why when you roll through New York, the
everybody's in the street.
everyone is in the street.
Everyone's in the street.
And the people, the dudes that are standing out, literally just nodding out in the street. you know,
It's a, it's
everyone's
a,
nodding out. They
it's
get
a
a ticket when
bro.
they nod out in on the sidewalk. My bad, my bad. Go ahead.
Nah, you're good. You're good.
But yeah,
You know,
totally communist.
yeah, absolutely. So, you know, uh, moved, uh, moved to a state where it's just like, oh, firearms. That's dope. I love firearms. Oh, I can get a firearm. That's even better.
Yeah.
And it just kind of went from there, and started doing my thing with firearms. To starting from a point where it was weird going into a shooting range. you know, where I got the weird looks. I gave the weird looks, didn't quite understand the whole situation, like how shooting ranges worked. It just kept going, kept going, kept going. And then fast forward some years, and, I was just like, all right, I'm going to give YouTube a try, and then
Mhm.
now we're here.
Yeah, yeah. And this when you were kind of just going to the range, like did you own a farm at that point, or were you like
Yeah.
renting them, or?
So I did own a firearm. I did not take my firearm to the range.
Okay.
I would go and that's initially how it started because I didn't know how it was gonna go. I didn't know all the rules and regulations, all the cans and cannots, So
Okay.
after a while, and I got comfortable, I was like, hey, I could bring a firearm. They're like, yeah, just case it up, make sure it's ammo separated, mags not in. I'm like, all right, cool.
Was
And I
this
brought it in.
still a friendly state, or where was this
Yeah,
at?
it's a semi-friendly state. This is when I lived in Maryland,
Okay.
you
Okay.
know.
So
But
only a little communist.
yeah, only a little communist. But everybody has firearms. It's weird. Maryland's a super gray area.
Yeah.
It's a super gray area. And then when I moved to where I'm at now in West Virginia, like I already knew about West Virginia. I already knew about the laws. It was just all bets are off.
Yeah.
So
What was your first firearm? Oh shit.
shit. Uh Raven chambered in 2.5.
Dang. Okay, now hold on, hold on. How far back we going here?
Yo.
Okay, all right, that's it. We don't need to say anything else. Because
Yo,
I will say there was a point where your boy DLD had a high point in 40 cal. Okay, but
yo,
we don't need to talk about when that was. All
yeah.
right, all right.
I don't want to stamp the date, but it was yeah, it was a while ago.
Life is a shorty shouldn't be so
Yep.
rough.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. So okay, now when you started getting into shooting, when you started, going to the shooting range and whatnot, at that point, when you did your first FFL purchase, what firearm did you purchase?
It was SR9C or Ruger
Okay.
SR9C.
That's a good first gun.
Yeah, it was a Ruger SR9C. That was the first.
Now, when you had that, were you like, damn, this gun's the
Nobody
shit?
could tell me anything. Are you crazy?
Was it the
Carrying
stainless slide?
hot chamber, the one in the head signal shit sticking up
Yeah.
like what? It's
Running your finger across it, like, I'm
yo,
not
it's like,
playing.
yeah, I'm hot, I'm carrying hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Safety features, like if you drop the mag, there's one in the head and you go to pull the trigger, it doesn't shoot. I thought it was the dopest shit ever.
Yeah.
It's like this is sick. And then I was just like, this is not sick. What if I drop my mag? Like, what if like
Yeah, what if I have a malfunction? What if I literally need to fire this with no
yeah,
magazine in it?
yeah, I was like, what if this is my
You
only
know?
shot?
Yeah, right. Literally,
Yeah.
you only got one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow.
Yeah.
Putang, what's up, brother Putang? Great to see you, man.
You
Blessings
saying,
to
what's
you
up,
as
man?
well. Yeah, man. So that's a good first gun to have. I got a friend that he was a Ruger dude, and he had a P95, and then he eventually sold
I
it,
had one of
switched
those.
to SR9C. Yeah, dude, those things were rugged. Apparently, they called it their
Absolutely.
hard R line.
Yeah, yeah. They lived up to the standard. We all had them.
Yes,
95
yes.
and the 89s, the
Oh,
P89.
dude, the P89s with that, like, grayish frame with the stainless colored slide, man, those were sexy. Those were
Yeah.
dope.
Oh man, you brought it back. That's so funny.
Man, it's old school, man. It's old school. So, okay, so you're kinda newer onto the scene, with firearms. You got your Ruger SR9C. What was the process as far as, because at some point we talk about this on the show all the time where, you kinda get into guns and you're like, "Okay, well, if I'm gonna get a gun, then I'm gonna get a carry gun, then I'm gonna get a holster, then I'm gonna get a gun belt, and then you go down that rabbit hole and it's boom, all of a sudden you have, a gun room in your
It
house,
was a
like
little it was a little I'm not gonna say it was slow, but it was a little slow. Like so for the first year, I didn't make any move. First year and a half, 2 years, I didn't make any move. I put so many rounds through that SR. So many rounds through that thing. I shot a lot.
Mhm.
I shot a lot. And then going to the range, just seeing other people's setups.
Yeah.
Seeing other people's setups, and I didn't really talk to anybody. I would just look, and then I'm like going home, and then looking online, and then just looking at different guns, looking at different firearms, always looking at the case, and I'm like, yo, that looks sick, that looks cool, that looks dope, you
Yeah.
know. and it just and then I don't know, it didn't progress right away. I got like a bunch of bullshit firearms, which I'm probably gonna get a lot of heat from it here, but
Yeah.
I bought a lot of like I'm not gonna say names, a lot of 200 to $375 firearms.
Are we talking like skies
No,
or
no guys. It was like, Taurus P2 111 fucking
that's reasonable. That's okay. Like I've had some Tauruses. I've had some I call it Tauri. I've had a bunch of Tauruses. Big Easy, what up? What up? Good to see you. Andy Lipsco. That's one of your boys right there. That's one of your viewers. I know there's we
Big
got a
Easy.
bunch of cross cross viewership here.
Yeah.
So
I want to say, what is this? Fucking 2013, 2014, 2013. Somebody asked what year.
dang.
Something like that. I don't know. It's something like that. It was a while ago. It was years ago.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Yeah, I mean it's things were different, right? Like back then, like if you were to run into something like a Glock like on the streets, like
It's cool.
those were like king, you were a king
Cool.
if you had a Glock. Like that, yeah, that shit was next level.
Oh,
Um you know, most lower tier firearms were kind of just like what was running around. But like Caltex and things like that, like those were decent guns. They worked, right? Even though they were like 250, 300. Taurus, I've had a lot of Tauruses, but yeah. So what were your next purchases? Did you kind of eventually go
um,
into more
I,
handguns?
I dabbled more into the bullshit. I bought a bunch of bullshit. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I bought a bunch of bullshit, like
That's all
all
right.
kinds of trash.
I think we all do.
Just all kinds of trash, you know.
And were
Um,
you getting like the cheap $20 Walmart lasers or like what
no, I kind of stood away from the lasers and the grips and the,
okay.
I kind of stood away from that. I always seen a laser as like a I'm not I was never into lasers.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe years ago when I was just like, oh, that's dope. And then like I put thought into it. I'm like, a laser's kind of fucking pointless when you could shoot. All you're doing is just letting the person know where you're at.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Lights
yeah,
are way more valuable. Now, have you ever owned a handgun with a set of Crimson Trace laser grips on them?
no,
Dang, okay.
no,
I'm
no,
dating
no.
myself, man.
I stood away with that. I had a bunch of bullshit, but I didn't like trick out my bullshit. I
Yeah.
didn't add more bullshit onto my bullshit. Like,
Yeah. That's a good move.
I didn't add a bunch of bullshit, but I was definitely like, oh man, I got my fucking leather holster. Like I thought,
Yeah, yeah.
so
Yeah, yeah, I've been there. I'm actually wearing a leather holster right now.
yeah,
I'm still in that,
not good leather. It was a good leather.
yeah, 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 no, I'm kind of an old man in that regard. Black Diamond Guns and Gear, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Gerchop, what up? And by the way, Black Diamond Guns and Gear, thank you for the shout out in your recent video. That was dope, man. I appreciate you. Um, so what was next on your path into the 2A world?
So just seeing like I said, just seeing what people had in like their setups. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was. I would go into a gun store. I had a lot of. I was like, when the learning process came in, it was like learning, and then like I'm not gonna lie, it was just it up until a few years ago where it really opened up, and I was just like, oh, so this is what it is. This is what it is.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna lie, Do Knowledge and Fish definitely added on to that like a great bit. A great bit. Like they caught like I met them at a time where I got rid of like everything.
All the
Like,
bullshit. So do they not know about a lot of these firearms?
oh, they can imagine. They
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Fish
yeah,
can't say anything. Fish knows what time it is.
yeah, yeah. I'm
So
sure he's had a bunch of
he's had
bullshit.
his fair share. We all have. We all
Yeah.
had, you know.
Well, it's just
So
like anything else, like cars. I know you're into cars too. So like once you Crimson Trace laser grips are sweet, dude. I had a bunch of Glocks with Crimson Trace, and I feel you. But yeah, it's kind of like cars, right? So eventually, once you get into it, you start to kind of learn more about them. Then you're like, okay, like I'm learning more. I'm learning more. My bad. Thank you, Drew. I appreciate Drew. That was you, right, on Instagram. That you. I gotta throw this out there. I think where'd it go? So Drew got one of the blue goon beams, and then he was like, "Man, I turned it on," and he's like, I'm just not impressed, man. I don't know what's going on, and can't even see like more than 50 yards out." And he hit up goon beam, and he was like, "Yeah, there's three settings, bro."
Settings.
And I
It's
was
just
like,
like,
"Oh shit."
huh?
Yeah, but
Say what?
I didn't see it till later. So as reading the conversation as he sent it, it was all right there and said so yeah, my bad. But shout out to you, Drew. Yeah, I when the names are different from like YouTube and Instagram and all that, it's hard to keep track. But I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Um, but yeah, dang, Polska Bob is in here. What's up, man? Good to see you, bro. Um, but okay, so getting back to you, so like you kind of are like that type of dude where you're not always gonna like run in the mix and be running your mouth, and you're kind of more like the observant type, right?
Yeah,
You're gonna kind
absolutely.
of sit back, watch, look, and listen, go do your own research, and then be like, man, I should probably trade in this Raven 25 ACP for a Glock 19.
Get rid of this shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then like somewhere along the lines of that, like I got a Glock 19, right? And I
Hmm.
still have that thing. I don't think anyone's Glock 19 is more seasoned than mine. Like,
It's a bold claim.
yo, bro, I know it sounds crazy, but like the butterness of like a 2011,
Oh yeah, yep,
that's how my Glock 19 feels.
bro.
With
Once
with, with a lot of tension because of the spring, but like,
Yeah, yeah. Once you've beaten the absolute dog shit out of a Glock, it is crazy smooth. The so many people just they get a Glock and immediately go grab trigger springs and like 3.5 pound connectors. And like you can do that, right? But
put in the work, put in the work, thousands of
y-
rounds, thousands and thousands of rounds.
yeah,
My Glock is battle worn
yeah,
naturally.
naturally,
Not Cerakoted, not painted, not
yeah.
scuffed up because you took some sandpaper to it. No, it's battle worn. That look that people pay $200 to get painted, that's how my Glock looks.
Mm, damn,
Like the
yeah.
coating is like it's fuck. That
I'm
shit is
famous for the battle worn shit too, but there's I have a Glock that my my dad bought me a Glock 19 like almost 15 years ago, and aside from putting tritium sights on it, a 3.5 pound connector, and I had this company do the company that did the chrome AK for me. I had them do the chrome on the slide and the barrel, so it's all OEM. Aside from that, and I still got that thing. Still, I mean, I don't even know how many thousands of rounds I got through that shit, and it is like
smooth.
crazy smooth. Yeah, yeah.
Smooth.
It becomes a part of you.
Yeah, for
That
sure.
is the an extension of yourself.
Yep, for
So
sure.
when did you go into like carrying a gun as opposed to just having it at the house, or what made you be like, you know what, this is something I need to keep on me?
That SR I started carrying with the SR.
The
Yeah,
SR9.
SR9. Yeah,
Mm,
that's when I started carrying, and then I had still got one laying around somewhere. A 1911 199A1, the
okay.
Shorty boy. Carried that for a little bit.
Was it
Until
a Springfield?
no, it's Colt.
Oh, a Colt 1911A1.
Yeah.
Dang, okay.
Um,
And you were carrying that.
I was carrying that.
That's what's up.
Yo, I'm telling you, in these beginning stages, nobody could tell me shit.
Yeah, no, no.
Nobody could tell me shit. I was just like, I have a gun. I know.
Yeah,
Just in my head, it's like, yeah, I know, but
like I've read through 3 forums, and I've determined that this is the best firearm that you could
Yeah,
possibly
yeah,
own.
absolutely. It's a 45, 7 rounds, 6 rounds.
Yeah.
Like, what else do I need? That was pointless.
DLD does paint his yep, and but does a great job. Thank you. Appreciate that, Rip Curl.
Oh, I'm into painting firearms now too. I don't care. Like,
Oh yeah,
I'm all
yeah,
about it.
yep. Dang, he called me out. He said I got the same name on Instagram and YouTube. My bad. My bad. Dang. So was it something specific that happened that made you like, okay, I need to keep it on me, or were you just kind of seeing like the world around you change? Like what inspired you to
Yeah.
start like keeping
So I've
your shit
always
on
like,
you?
man, I can't like go too deep, but I always keeping it on you is always a thing. It's just how
Yeah.
comfortable of where you're at of keeping it on you.
Yeah.
Like, and then it got to a point where like I carried so much that now this point in my life, I can't see myself not having a firearm on me. It is
Yeah.
a must. It is a must. And if I don't, and I'm with somebody with a firearm, I'll probably ask him 4 times, "Yo, you got your shit right?
Yeah.
All right, cool, cool." And then like 15 minutes later, "Yo, you got your shit right?" It's like, all right, cool, 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 cool.
Yeah. It's
Like,
ready. Like you got a round in the chamber, right?
it's like, "Yo, you're running hot, right? All right, cool, cool, cool,
Yeah.
cool."
Honestly, that's how I felt when I was going out to Maryland and kicking it with you guys at MD Arsenal. Shout out to MD Arsenal. Um, Going out there and having my permit in Virginia. A lot of people out there don't know that like Virginia, in the area of the DMV, right? DC, Maryland, and Virginia, and I mean also we got West Virginia right there too. It's like the different laws between Maryland and DC and Virginia and West Virginia are so crazy. You could take one wrong turn on one off ramp and be in a completely free state, and then be in a completely communist
Yeah,
place that you will go to jail. Even if you got your permit carrying lawfully, you make a wrong turn. So it's no joke. So when because I follow all the rules, laws, and stuff, I'd be carrying in Virginia, but on my way out to MD Arsenal, I would have to pull off in Virginia before I got to the Maryland state line, disarm myself and then lock the shit up, in the car, and then I, get to MD Arsenal and I'm like, yo, what you carrying? Like making sure all y'all got
yeah,
guns,
it's like, I was
you
like,
know.
"Okay, we're good."
Because
You
it's a
know?
comfort thing, it's like, man, I am not currently in control of
Yep,
my self-defense.
yep.
I couldn't imagine not carrying.
And that's why, like, when you got there, like, I understood where you was coming from. I was like, "Bro, you're good. Like, don't even worry. Like, you're good here, bro. Like, you're
Yeah.
good." Like, it's just it's I don't know. It's firearms, man. Firearms.
He said, "DLD, you're not a good liar." No, hey, ask Dust. I mean, maybe when I got to MD Arsenal, I may have strapped up
Yeah.
again.
But he still asked. He asked, like, and he was asking very specific questions
Yeah,
on different things. He was asking I'm like, "You're good. Bro,
yeah,
don't worry, you're good." Everything was, "Yo, you're good." Like, "Don't worry, you're good." And he's
yeah.
looking at me like, "Yo, like, we're in Maryland." I'm like, "Bro, you're good. You're
Now
good."
I got my permit now, for Maryland. It was a pretty, intense process, like, compared to, Virginia and whatnot, but, man, they're asking, like, if they can call, my ex-wife and, like, asking if I've ever had, like, a psychological appointments and shit. I'm like, "What?" Like, this is
What
crazy.
is going on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, it's crazy. But so eventually, you go down this road where starting to get into more, I think we can call it like better equipment. When did you start to get like your first like gear, like like, your first like Safari Land, or something like that? Because you got a nice setup, you got a good gun belt, you got a
So I
aside
went
from
through
being
a bunch of
left-handed, of
bullshit
course.
belts.
Okay.
I went through a bunch of bullshit belts. I can't even tell you the name. They were just bullshit. Like it's just like, oh, gun belt. That some that you go to a gun store, right? And they have
Yeah.
belts there, and you're like, oh, gun belt. And they're like, yeah, that's a good belt. And you're like looking, and you're like, all right. Shit ends up being trash 6 months down the road. You're like 3 months down the road,
Yeah.
it's like garbage, and you just cycle through them, cycle through them, cycle through them, and then you just find a decent setup. Like I'm
Yeah.
not a very change a bunch all at once. I work with what I got, and I really figure out like what's important to change. If that
Yeah.
what bothers me most,
Yeah.
what can make me more comfortable, and that's how I am. I'm not like oh, that person has this, so I need that, and then 3 months later, that person has this, so I need that, or that person has this, so I need that, and then end up with a bunch of shit. I
Yeah.
break shit before I'll go, change it. But now with content creating is a little different. Now I get shit because I have to try it, and I just so happen to break shit.
Yeah.
that's
But
that's where I'm at.
I appreciate that though, because like you're getting a setup like the core belts, right? And you're like really running it,
Yes,
like you're really running that shit.
yes,
And you see what works, you feel what works. And like I had a bunch of stuff, and until you start, going to training events and being like, man, that medical kit on my back, like that
yeah.
shit don't
Like
work.
that's I'll come out. I won't
Yeah,
take that out.
and you either, try to deal with it and work with it and end up breaking it, or just being like, yeah, this is just not going to work. And I just switched over to the this. I don't know if you remember on it, for anyone out there that's got like put a lot of time, energy, and unfortunately money into like a really good gun belt setup. Um, man, it's a lot, right? And you may think you have the dopest setup, but if you've not gone to real like training events and like really like pushed yourself and ran and doing running and gunning and all that stuff, like you don't see your failure points in your kit. And it was cool, it was kind of refreshing to come to a place and be like, okay, like you're like really running your shit. Like I can see you got wear and tear on your mag carriers. I can see you know what I mean? Like I appreciate that.
Yep. It's one of those. It's all fun and games until like you're moving and your mags pop out your pouch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or it's all fun and games. So your mags pop out your pouch, and then you're running a shitty mag, and your mag hits the floor, and your rounds go everywhere.
Shout out to KCI aftermarket Glock mags.
Like
Yeah.
just saying, like, and for those who know what I'm talking about, you understand, and for those who don't, you'll figure it out. It's either you have some shit that it's not going to happen to you, and if your shit's trash, and when it happens to you, you're gonna like, damn, that's what they were talking about.
Yeah.
It's like that sucks.
When that shit fails, or when you actually go to use it and you're like, man, this is the most uncomfortable shit I've ever used. Like I have probably hundreds and hundreds of dollars, probably over $400 worth of shit that used to be on my gun belt and my gear and my kit. And oh, so the first med kit that I had on my gun belt when I started coming to MD Arsenal. Initially, it was just like a little bleeder pack with a couple little things, and then I went to this bigger because I was like, I want more medical stuff here, right? Like on me. I switched to a 511, like this zip pouch that turns into two sealed units that you can put so much more stuff in. And initially, it's cool because on your belt, it's hanging low, but if you go to sit down, it pushes up,
It
right?
pushes
So
them, which is sick.
yeah, it gets out of the way, right? Until you use it, and then that function goes away. It stops working because it's not stiff anymore, right? So
Yeah,
then you're like, you got a huge like hump in the small of your back. You can't sit down, can't lay back. And when we were doing stuff like laying down in a reverse fetal position on the ground with your cheek on the floor shooting
yeah,
an
yeah.
AR, like that, it doesn't work.
It gets real
Yeah,
iffy and picky, and it's just like this shit is so uncomfortable. Like I can't even get my rifle to where it needs to be. Like
yeah.
and you start moving shit.
Yeah, it was pretty telling, you know, and I was switching stuff out, but also being able to use stuff and seeing what works, and that's I have you guys to thank for that because we were doing, the classes and then also just doing kind of shooting nights there, and I eventually switched very recently to have you seen the micro blue alpha medical kit?
No.
Bro, hold on one second.
Micro Alpha Blue Medical Kit. Gotta check that out.
911 Namakila.
Yeah, that song is crazy.
You like that joint?
Yeah, absolutely. What was it called? Micro what?
It's called the Blue Alpha uh uh micro medical total micro total trauma kit now. So it's like MTKN or something like that. Look at this joint. Look how tiny this little shit is. Bro, this thing is so little. And you know what I got in
Blue
here?
Alpha or Blue Force Gear?
I'm sorry, Blue Force gear. My bad.
Okay.
My bad. So this in this little guy, okay, I have 2 chest seals. I have 2 things of um gauze. I have the only thing I don't have in here now are shears, and it wasn't gonna work. I've got the clotting gauze. I got 2 chest seals. I have 4-inch gauze. I have gloves. I have the blanket, the metal.
Emergency blanket.
Bro, did you know? So I always was like, I don't need this in kits. Did you know at what temperature your body stops uh clotting blood? You know what temperature your body stops or has to work like, you know, 2 times harder to start, when you're
To start to clot blood in case of a wound,
yeah, as far as like when it becomes difficult for your body to clot blood, what
probably
temperature?
like 2 degrees lower than normal, 1 degree probably.
Basically
Like that.
95 degrees.
Yeah,
Anything below 95 degrees and your body has an extremely difficult time clotting, blood. So if
which
someone
is cold. Your body drops to 95 degrees, you're free.
yeah,
I want to touch on that for a second, guys. If
yeah,
your body drops 2 degrees, you feel that shit. Like you're cold. You're cold. Like your physical body temp, you are cold.
yeah,
Just so
freezing.
everybody knows, 1, 2 degrees, you're not like, oh, it's not that bad. No, you're freezing. You feel that shit.
You could be in a literal summer day. You could get hit and you could be at the shooting range. You could be we don't need to like, make it some crazy glorified SHTF scenario. Your friend could accidentally shoot you, okay? Like at the shooting range. You never
That's
know what situation you could be in. And if you get hit and you start leaking and you guys don't have medical or don't have proper medical equipment, um, you may not even know what's killing you, right? Like I could not tell you how many stories that I've read or seen or watched or where somebody let's say somebody has a bullet hole in them and they're getting treated by somebody by a professional, okay, and the professional didn't cut off all of their clothes, so they're plugging a wound or putting on a tourniquet and they don't realize that their patient died because they had another half of the jacket go through their back, right? So they literally are leaking into the ground, so they don't even see the blood, they don't see the other wound, so they're treating a wound and they don't even realize that there's another wound that blew out their kidney, you
yeah.
know? So
That's
you
why you're
never
not
know.
supposed to turn somebody on the side and go up their shirt and like literally feel it.
Yeah.
Like feel for like a wet spot or anything like that. And
Mhm.
another thing, which you said if your friend was to shoot you, I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know why I feel the need to share this. If you ever are ever in that situation, when you go to call cops or you call whoever, don't tell them someone got shot. Tell them there was a training accident.
Yeah.
Tell them there was a training accident. If you tell them someone got shot and they pull up and you have a gun, they're probably going to shoot you.
They're looking for a gunman.
Yeah, they're looking for. So if you say it was a training accident, it changes it up. It's almost like the insurance thing. I hit a deer versus a deer hit me.
Yeah,
Change the dynamic of it.
yeah, yeah. That's a good point. Rip Curl Readiness. What's up, bro? He asks, how many tourniquets are you carrying? Dark and Dust.
I carry a tourniquet with me every day, daily.
Do you?
It's part of my EDC for the most part, extended EDC,
Mhm.
because it's in my bag, and usually I have my bag with me, but I have a tourniquet with me all the time. Uh,
Are you carrying medical like on your gun belt?
no, I've had the biggest issue with that,
Mhm.
and I was gonna hit you up about that med kit.
Yeah,
I've had the biggest issue because I don't want a bulky medical kit, but I want a bunch of shit, and that sounded like a bunch of shit that I would.
dude. It's been one of the honestly low key like you look at content creators, right? Like we're always talking about stuff like this, but this would have been like a great opportunity for me to share my journey of using 4 different medical kits that 3 of them did not work, right? Like 3 of them, in conceptually are perfect, right? You can fit everything, literally everything in if you go to whatchamacallit, North America,
North American Tactical or
North
a medic,
America.
the medical North
Yeah.
American. Yeah,
Jeez, why am I forgetting the name? But you can get a bleeding control kit, right? That comes with 2 chest seals, a tourniquet, and I'll come back to your question, Rip. 2 chest seals, a tourniquet, 2 sets of gloves, 2 sets of gauze, shears, and the marker and what else? Oh, the safety blanket, the hypothermia blanket, and like shit like that, right? And I don't even know how much they are now. The price has gone up on everything so much, but it's a reasonable price, like probably like $70. And I was taking stuff from those kits and putting them in, the first medical kit that I got, and it was just too big, too bulky. Then I put it in the 511. Then I put it in this other one that I got. Then I got a what's that one? Not Savage, but they have a bunch of cheap soft goods. Savior bag. Then I put it in this and that, and I'm just like, dude, all of this shit is too bulky, right? And finally switched over. You know what it was? I was actually, and this is how bougie I am. I was like, I want a multicam uh medical kit. And it I could have been doing videos and showing people like, hey, in practice this does not work. Like on your belt it looks cool, in pictures it looks cool, like in real life this shit's not going to work. I literally in some cases I was like bumping into shit, like when I walked through my doorway, knocking shit over with my medical kit or my med pack and all that. So I probably should have showcased more of that. Maybe I'll come back and do videos on it.
but
But
it
it
also that's a thing, right? So like it I know what you're saying because we are not small gentlemen.
yeah.
So bumping into things and having too much going on
Yeah,
does hit.
you had a whole bunch of kit on a big ass dude and it's
It becomes a problem. It
yeah.
becomes a problem fast. Um, it's a how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
How bad do you want it? Are you willing to change everything, the way you move and everything, just so you could have it? But I definitely do agree.
Yeah.
It does become a
Dust, I've no personal experience, but I've heard, let's see, Bear Independent on YouTube has a great smaller back kit. He does tons with NAR. Nice. That's what's up. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great medical kits out there, and it is important. So I usually have, like you mentioned, like having it with you, but not necessarily on you.
yeah.
I have tourniquets and I got like one of those $450 NAR like the EMT kits in the trunk. I have a bleeding control kit in the glove box, but like I usually don't rock medical personally on me, like on my body as EDC, but on my gun belt, I was like, if I'm throwing the gun belt on, it's likely that I'm shooting and I'm around a bunch of people shooting. So it's like, it eventually was like it's a necessity to
have
add
one.
that. Yeah. So
No,
matter
no.
of fact, you can try one of these 3 that didn't work for me if you want to.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm very weird when it comes to medical. Like, there's so much shit to medical. I don't know it
Mm,
all, but there's so much shit to medical. There's so much shit to medical. Like, as
yeah,
far as like tapes, like the different types of tapes, different type of gauze, all these different types of bandages, when to use them, when not to use them. Obviously, needless to say, I need to take a few of those courses, but like,
yeah,
not all the time is a tourniquet potentially required.
yeah,
It's an
yeah,
option, but it's not required. And how long is it going to be before you get actual help? Because what people don't understand is that if you use a tourniquet and it's for an extended period of time, that limb is gone.
yeah,
So if there's another option, you know,
yeah,
take another option. But like I said, it's kind of a revolving door.
yeah.
You
Yeah, I
know,
mean, there's a lot of information that like I still don't know for a lot of people out there like usually fire departments offer stop the bleed classes. They'll let you know when there are excuse me, when there are kits that or when there are wounds that you tourniquet, when there are wounds that you plug, and the difference between the two, the difference between what blood looks like from, an artery, what blood looks like from just a standard wound, right? Like
yeah,
if somebody just gets, sliced open and you see a bunch of dark blood, urgency, it's important, but it's not, you know, emergency, urgency, life threatening right now. Like now, if you see uh projectile, bright red,
that's
frothy
bad.
blood, yeah,
That's bad. That's
that is,
Projectiling blood in itself is bad.
yeah, in any way, like,
In any way, if you have nothing, I know this is. I'm not a medical freak. I'm not a medical guy. I'm not. If you see somebody and you care about them and they're squirting blood and you
yeah,
have nothing else, jam your fucking finger in there until you figure it
that's
out. Stop that shit.
that's what for people, dude, it's no joke for people that don't know. That is what wound packing is. It is the equivalent to your finger being literally on but you're stopping
You're
your
stopping. Yeah.
yes, you're basically think of it like electricity. You're completing the circuit or stopping the circuit, or like you literally need to get directly on it, not just going on the wound on the
No.
outside of the wound. You need to stick your finger in
And
the MF wound and
create a plug.
yes. And this is what like for wound packing, this is why they say when you take the Z folded gauze where you literally wrap it around your finger and you go down and you push and then you go back down, push, you're pushing that down to basically take the place of your finger over the wound. And if it's the clotting gauze that has was it I forgot the term. I'm tripping, but it's one of those days. But it takes 1 to 3 minutes for that shit to clot up in the best conditions, by the way. Because if you're all of a sudden below 95 degrees, right? You're losing blood. You're losing temperature. Even on a hot summer day, you could literally your body can't it's too
It's
much to fight against. So but then also understanding the priority of things, like if someone's squirting out blood from their femoral artery, don't go putting a blanket on them, right? Like you you know yeah, so
it's 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 bad.
Flying Rich said
Do
push.
something about it. And hey, when you see that squirting, don't just do something and do something fast.
You got two
You don't
options.
stick your finger directly, take off your fucking shirt and start stuffing your shirt.
Yeah,
Do something because when blood is squirting, they're gonna bleed out. they're absolutely gonna bleed out. There's no ifs, ands, buts, or maybes, or oh, because of it, they're going. If you see that shit squirting, do
Yeah.
something. But outside of that,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I actually saw a friend when I was a kid. He was 15 years old. We were all like 18, 19 at the time. Um, there was an accidental discharge, and um, a mutual friend that had a Glock 19 was pretending to act tough. He had it under his shirt and he pulled it, racked it, and was like being tough. And all of a sudden, in a basement party, you just hear boom, like your ears are just
Oh, inside.
yeah,
Oof,
yeah.
oof.
And he took a 9mm jacketed hollow point to the sternum, and he literally bled out and died in front of us.
Which is
And you have no idea how much blood the human body
ins-
contains. It is
I
insane, and the smell, like you,
the smell of blood will stick with you forever.
yeah. Like, I'll go into, like, a hospital or something, I'll go into just that, like, or an old folks' home, and there's some things, like chemicals and stuff that kinda have a smell. It makes you think of shit like that, or, like, I'll go into, like, like a mechanic shop or something, I'll smell certain chemicals, and I'm like, "Yo, that kinda is giving me, like, flashbacks of shit like that."
Coins, like nickels as well.
Yeah, yeah, coins, like metal, because it's a
Yeah,
very the iron, but yeah, it's crazy, man. Um,
my first. This is where I learned the whole packing thing. Like I said, I'm not a medical expert by any means. I'm actually gonna tell you guys a story that I haven't even told on my own channel.
damn,
Never released this, never talked about it, but you brought up a story. I was 12, and a friend of mine in the building, mind you, I was 12. Um, Long story short, I seen him get stabbed up,
mm,
and that's the first time I experienced the squirting blood.
damn,
And luckily, he didn't die. He got stabbed like 9 times, and he didn't die.
damn,
That's where I figured out. One of the, it was the hood. One of the older ladies like came outside. I was like, I know what to do. And bro, it's crazy. She started stuffing him with rags, stuffing
damn,
this dude with rags. And my boy was down bad for like a year. For
yeah,
like a year, you know what I'm saying? And that's where it always stuck with me. It's like, yo, you see the squirt in blood? Start stuffing that shit. Do something about it. If
yeah,
it wasn't for that lady, he would have died 100%.
for sure,
100%.
especially if you're talking arterial bleeding, man, the time is, I mean, we're talking seconds
Yeah,
make the difference.
it looked like the cheap dollar store water guns when you squirt them
Yeah,
out of like 3 holes.
mm,
Yeah, it
dude,
was it was it was wicked shit to see at 12.
that shit sticks with you, and you know it makes you think. You basically have to immediately cut off all circulation to the area affected, and if someone's hit in their torso, you can't put a tourney on someone's
No,
neck, and on their belt line, right? Like
yeah, it doesn't
it,
work like that.
yeah, you got to go to wound packing right away, and you could literally take your pocket knife and start slicing off pieces of your shirt
Yep.
and just jam that shit. And obviously, like you said, I'm certainly not a medical professional. I am a YouTube certified YouTube special. I'm just playing. Yeah, no, I know nothing about that, but things like that, man, that sticks with you. Clearly now, decade plus later, you're still thinking about it. It sticks with you.
Oh no, I've had more experiences after that. I'm just saying, like that's where it stood. Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just crazy. But yeah,
yeah.
man, it definitely shit like that.
Hmm.
But outside of that,
So we got to get
wild.
Dust a medical kit for his belt. For real, if you want to try some of these other ones that, even though they maybe didn't work for me, they may work for you. That medical kit, the trauma kit now, it's the micro trauma kit now, MKTN or something like that. First off, Blue Blue Force Gear is an
Fire.
excellent company. Yeah, they're
Absolutely.
awesome. And it's usually like you'll find it like usually like 60 to 80 bucks. I found a spot that had it for like 48 or something like that. So
Oh,
I
nice.
grabbed that. So I'll share that with you. But yeah, I mean it is super important to have, like on you, on your person, um, and amongst other things. But so as far as handguns, you've gone through a lot of different handguns. What are you rocking right now?
Uh,
Like on your gun belt?
on my gun belt. Oh, X5 Legion,
Okay.
which
And,
I've been
and
trying to retire that thing for like 7 months now, and I just
yeah.
can't get away from it. Like,
What
I just can't get away from it.
so what made you choose it though?
All right, so another thing people gripe about SIGs. Yo, that the SIG, the X series SIGs, they fit perfect in my hand.
Mhm.
Absolutely perfect. Like I feel like there was somebody with my same exact hand when they were designing that, and they said, "Grab this."
Yeah.
It is like, it just fits perfect in my hand. It's very rare that I pick up a firearm that feels better than that grip in my hand.
Yeah.
And it started. Oh, and one more thing. Somebody asked about the core belt, the core battle belt. Um, the core battle belt for me, super dope. I'm not ghosting you. He said, "Don't be ghosting me on that couch." My wife is not with it. I have a Spanish wife who's very angry.
Don't be
So
ghosting me on that couch. What?
yeah, he's sick.
Thank you,
Um,
Rich. I appreciate the super chat. I don't fully understand your comment, but I appreciate the super chat.
you um, yeah, the core battle belt is definitely dope. Uh, it has an inner belt which goes through your regular belt loops. It velcros on and it ratchet straps pretty much in.
Yeah.
The Mali comes all the way to the front. It's not like
Nice.
other battle belts where they start at the side.
Yeah.
So if you wanted something, up front, like just off center, you can put something there because the Mali comes all the way up that
Yeah.
far. It's super comfortable. When you can ratchet it as tight as you want, like as tight as you want, to a point where it's not gonna move at
Yeah.
all. I like it. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's so my EDC belts ratchet like that, and I do like that. And yeah, I'm using a similar system. It's not by core, but it's a similar ratcheting system. And the thing about the Blue Alpha belt is I don't actually utilize the belt like I should, right? Like, so are you actually weaving the inner belt through your belt loops and then
Yes,
putting it onto the outside? So
yes,
yeah, I usually don't do that. I probably should, but I I I always like the idea. Like I like the concept of one having a stiff belt, but also, being able to move with it and have it bend with your body and all that. But being able to just throw it on, like if I'm at the crib in sweatpants and something pops off, I can just grab it, throw it around me, click it, and I'm going to work, right? Like,
yeah,
so I kind of do the same thing with even when I'm out with jeans and stuff on. I'll literally throw the belt on over my belt and shirt and all that and just put it on over. But I'm not saying that's the way, it's just a way.
no, no, for sure. Everybody, like if I had to throw on my belt and I didn't have that inner loop, it's going around regardless. It's getting ratcheted on
Yeah,
regardless of how uncomfortable it is. If it's a move, I gotta make it. It's a move I gotta make, but
yeah,
it certainly would be uncomfortable. It's like the rough side of the Velcro would potentially be up against my skin,
yeah, yeah,
my
it's
body.
true. Now, going back to your pistol selection, though, I think there's another reason that you may have selected that as opposed to other ones, and there's something that a lot of people may not know about you. And with your permission, I'm going to break the news, y'all, that Dust is left-handed.
Absolutely. My
And the
family,
320 is ambi, right?
completely ambi
Yeah. Which Gen 5 Glocks are ambi
or
too.
ambi. I run a Gen 4. So
Okay.
Weird enough, when I have to hit the slide release, I stick my middle finger up and I reach around the other side and I hit the tab and it
Really?
releases. Yes.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like it's just like a, you're holding your pistol and it's just like that. Just whap and then back at it. Like
Damn.
I'm a
That's
lefty.
interesting.
I have to,
Well, I would guess, and I'm just kind of jumping out on a limb here, that you probably had to conform to other right-handed shit throughout the rest of your life. So as you're training, you're used to running on right-handed favoring guns.
correct.
So that's probably why you're doing this
Correct.
still
Unless
even.
somebody actually like spends their time training this, I will run a right-handed gun better than a right-handed person could run a left-handed gun
Damn.
or even an ambi gun. Like
Yeah.
it's just because I
Damn.
had to go through it. I had to learn a right-handed person's platform,
Mhm.
and then it's just like, oh shit, they make stuff for lefties, which I don't have any direct lefty setup. All my
Yeah.
setups are ambi. So if you needed to pick up my rifle or my pistol, you can run it. It's not a problem,
Yeah.
you know? So that's just how I have it set up. People are like, oh, why don't you get left hand ejection port on your AR? I'm just like, why? They're like, I'll eat the brass, or I could just tweak my arm and the brass is still going. You know how awkward it's going to be? Chances are I'm shooting with a right handed person and brass is coming from their right hand side and hitting them. They're
Bam.
gonna be freaked
There
out.
you go, bud. Yeah, no, that's yeah, more Gwen. Yes, we're all Goonbeam aficionados.
Yes,
Um, but yeah, that's interesting, man. That's
I
and
run a
I
green bean.
there are like some left-handed rifles out there that have come out that is, it's I guess you guys got it hard, okay? But as far as like being a left-handed person, I know it's something that you can't really change. I guess my only question would be, why are you gay? I'm
Yo,
just kidding.
I was about to be like, yo, you make it seem like it's a disease. like,
Right? No,
like,
I'm playing. I'm playing. No, I mean, I bust balls all the time about being left-handed, but it's it's funny, but respect though for really having a significant disadvantage for equipment and running it well.
make
And
it
if you
work.
guys have not seen Dust, man, he can run a gun. I would have no problem at all. There are only a literal singular handful of people on this earth that I would feel comfortable covering me while I reloaded, and Dust is one of those people.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. You
It
could
takes a lot
shoot.
of work. It's a lot of 4 a.m. messing around with my guns.
Yeah.
Everybody's sleeping in my house, and I'm just messing around with my gun, messing around with my gun. Safety,
Yeah.
playing with the safety selector, dropping the mag, putting the mag in. Like
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah, it's true, man. Lots of dry fire. So what is I mean, do you do a lot of dry fire and live fire? I know you shoot a lot, but
live fire. I've done a lot of live fire. Dry fire is cool. Uh, if anything, I've practiced more movement instead of like dry fire.
mhm.
Like I've practiced more movement than anything else. Like the live fire, I mean, the dry fire is cool, right? It's cool up until your follow up shot.
Yeah.
Your first shot will always be money, but what if you need a follow up shot? Like, and I did play with dry fire for a little bit until I realized that, and I'm like, it's
Yeah.
not going to work. Everybody's like, oh, dry fire, dry fire. It's just like now you're in a class, and it's like you're going to send 3 shots,
Yeah.
3 consecutive shots. Your first one is money, it's an alpha, and then your second one is a bravo, and then your third one is barely a Charlie.
Yeah, if you're
You know,
lucky, it's try.
if you're lucky, it's a Charlie. So
It's an interesting thing because I think a lot of people they look at things in a jaded way where and I love dry fire. I'm a huge advocate for dry fire. I think it's great, especially most of the people look a lot of people, especially on YouTube and Instagram and all these places where we find information. Most of them got into firearms around or after the coof, right? These are dudes that have been shooting for like 1 to 3 years. Okay. And I'm not saying you can't get information from people that have been shooting for less time than you. I don't believe that at all. Like I think that I have learned more shit from new shooters and from, people that are like younger in the game than I have from dudes that have been doing this for, more than 2 decades. So you always
Absolutely.
have to be like you got to keep the heart of a student. Um,
Absolutely.
but it's interesting that it's not it's almost like sold dry firing is sold as an alternative to live fire, and that is not the case. It is a tool in addition to,
Yes.
not in place of. And I noticed that I started developing a lot of training scars because of the amount of dry firing that I was doing. And part of that was I was so focused on that draw to first shot that I was going out and performing, and in live fire, I would do beep, draw first shot, and then I'm just standing
One,
there like, "Bro, like, that's it? Just one
one
singular
shot.
shot?"
Yeah.
Like, like you were saying, the follow-up shots I wasn't focused on, or I was only focused on the draw to first shot time, as opposed to you may need to put 3 to 5 center mass just to, start to drop the threat.
Yeah. For
So
sure.
it's
It,
an interesting thing.
it is. It is a very interesting concept, and I don't knock like dry firing. Like dry firing, like it's a tool. Dry firing is going to help you not flinch when you pull the trigger on your first shot.
Yeah,
On your first shot, your first shot is going to be money, and like I'm not telling no one not to dry fire. Do what you got to do.
yeah,
Definitely do what you got to do. But that's just my gripe with it, and I just went through it. Of just doing live fire, shooting consistently,
yeah.
constantly making corrections, and constantly shooting.
It
Having
is
to deal with all you wretched right-handed people.
yeah. I know. And honestly, dry firing, like you're saying, it's a tool to keep in your toolbox, but like it is a tool amongst a toolbox of other tools, live fire being one of them. You know what you're not going to be able to determine from dry fire? If your gun runs with certain mags or certain ammo, or if you'll even be lucky enough to have a follow-up shot, if you have to nurse a malfunction,
Yep.
you got the rest of your life to do it if that shit happens in real life, which may not be much time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well,
I think yeah, having the understanding, I think we kind of both agree on this that, dry firing is cool in addition to live fire, and that totally changes the dynamic on how much money you put in ammo and other things.
yeah, nah, for sure. And like movement. Like my thing is like instead of dry fire, is movement.
Yeah.
Presenting my rifle.
Mhm.
Me running around my house like I'm a crazy person, coming around corners,
Yeah.
compressing because I'm a big dude and like powering out around the corner or whatever the case is, like
Yeah.
that is just movement, just being able to move with a firearm in a tight spot or open spot and just moving around with my firearm.
I
You
could I could literally tell that in the classes that we did together. For those of y'all that have kind of been following along, and been here for over the last year, Dustin and I did a bunch of stuff together, and we did the basic courses together. Which anyone out there that's like, oh, I've already taken a basic rifle course, like, bro, you
Just
need to take many basic rifle courses.
as much as possible.
Yeah, from many different instructors, and and realize that the most high speed shit is just refined basics.
Yeah.
Like that's all it is. And we were doing the intermediate course and also the advanced gunfighter course, and you could see that showed up in your movement. You were very, very fluid, right? You're, you know, going from high ready to low ready, and like I mean, it looked like you were basically like your rifle was like swimming. It
Yeah.
was very
Extension. I
fluid.
mean, I
Yeah.
put hours in of doing that shit like a geek, bro. Just geeking out in my house, just you
Bro,
know, just
it made me start being more aware of stuff like that, right? Like I literally never used high ready like at all. and then seeing. You remember that exercise where, and if anyone out there hasn't seen, I have on Instagram and also on YouTube, different like snippets of the class where you see me. Basically, we did this thing where we're think of like you being within like an air vent, right? You have a very very small area where you can operate, and I mean not like operate like, you know what I mean?
Move. Yeah.
Yeah, and, you basically have to, like, swim your rifle, like, in and out any direction you can, and, like, I like going back and looking at my movement. This is why, videoing you training is important. My movement was, like, choppy, but when he went to do it, you're going around a barrier. He actually, like, went from high ready, but he had to, like, move himself and then, like, swim his rifle around and then just punch out and then tap, tap. And
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
just like it was just fluid as shit, you know? And I was like, "Damn, I need to work on that." So, we talked about it and you were like, "Yo, at your house, like, clear your house, like, work around corners," and,
Corners. Yeah.
bro, I started doing that and it's, you I
A
mean
corner is a corner.
yeah,
If that makes any sense, like 90 degrees is 90 degrees, no matter how you look at it.
yeah,
And moving around a 90-degree angle, it's never gonna change. But that's
yeah,
that's outside of that. Once again, I am not military, guys. I'm a regular dude. Like
yeah, yeah,
I'm a regular dude. I just like firearms, and when I'm into something, I get excited about it and I want to know everything about it, and I kind of want to be as proficient as I can with it.
yeah.
That's just the type of person I am.
And for you guys out there listening that are, some people are gonna take advice or choose to do certain things based on what we're talking about. Remember, going and clearing your house and working around corners and all that, it's the same thing as dry firing from, like, the same concept as,
Yeah,
like, yes, it's helpful in addition to live fire, in addition
yeah,
to classes, in addition to running drills and, so it one thing cannot be in isolation the best training thing to do. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Everything as a whole.
Yep.
Everything as a whole.
So now, I've heard that you only use Knight's Armament rifles.
No,
Uh,
that's just not true.
I'm just playing, I'm joking.
Like this.
So, what's your outlook on, ARs and all the different kind of shit out there that's available? Like, what
Um,
kind of setups are you running?
I think it's safe to say I'm at a point of functionality,
Mhm.
right? Yes, I own Knight's armament. I also own Gosley. I also own cheaper shit,
Yeah.
that no one would probably, I'm not gonna say you'll never see, but actually I was just looking at parts today and I'm just like, I think I'm gonna build 2 more ARs because I just have parts.
Yep.
Well, ain't that what 2 Midwest Industries like or Midway USA, like upper, like some weird shit that I have. And I'm just like, damn, when did I get this? Like something
Yeah.
that I ordered, I got, and then I seen something else and I ordered. And I was just like, I'm gonna build both of them. And I end up building one and really liking it and shelving the other, but
Nice.
never got rid of it. But
Yeah,
um
honestly, it's great though, because like there's nothing better than having rifles that you could arm somebody else potentially, or you could, use as like whatever, like an implement with training and have like, you know, a
yeah, no,
rotation, you
for
know.
sure. Summer rotation and going to train, you should definitely either have spare parts or another rifle. But
Yeah.
as far as firearms, my thing is, and this for everybody, right? Functional. Functional, 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 functional. Uh, functional. Make sure your shit works.
Yeah.
Pistol, Mr. Bullshit is trying to get me
I
crazy.
saw that. I saw
Yeah. Functional. Make sure your shit works. Make sure your shit works well.
yeah.
You know, I'm not saying break it, but if it's a stock setup, like off the shelf setup, try to expose because there's always going to be something weak for the most part
Yeah.
on the stock setup. There's always going to be something weak. Try to expose that. And if you don't, your rifle after you spend more time with it, you're like, oh, it's starting to get a little bit more gassy. It's
Mhm.
it's it's starting to, cycle a little harder, like, and just fix those issues, address them, and then before you know it, you have a setup that you're just like, we're good to go.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, a lot of times, putting together builds and stuff like that, a lot of people are focused on pretty insignificant shit when it comes to the build. But you you may run something into the ground and then just be able to grab a different BCG and bolt and just bring it, put it right back into the rotation.
Yep, yep. There's and as far as parts, don't be afraid to try parts. If you're worried, if you're like wondering about it, don't be afraid to try it. You know, uh,
Mm.
if you can afford it, definitely don't be afraid to try it. Don't always. Sometimes it's good to receive knowledge from other people, but don't always base your knowledge on other people.
Oh
Um,
yeah, big time.
Parts aren't parts. He said parts is parts. Parts are not parts.
Yeah,
Parts, not all parts are created equal. Like everybody's beloved, not bashing the company, but their charging handle actually absolutely sucked. The silencer code gas defeating charging handle, absolute trash. I'll
yeah,
say it. I'll say it to them. I'll say it to anybody. I thought it was dope. I broke 3 of them.
yeah. If you have not broken a charging handle, you have not lived.
Yeah, like I broke 3 of them.
If
They
you've not seen the
flew all
raw
over the place.
the raw aluminum, when you break that bitch. But and this is kind of a similar thing. Like they all work. Joe Morris, yes, I completely agree. Like we talk a lot. Like Joe Morris has mentioned, he has a CMMG setup and PSA setups, and this he has a lot of different stuff, right? And I agree, they all work. The length of time for which they work is different
It's
from
different.
every company.
But which is fine. I'm not knocking anyone at this point. I used to talk a bunch of shit like that, but I'm not knocking anyone, man. If your shit works and you know it works and you got 2,000 plus rounds through it,
Yeah.
have at it. If you're trusting in your rifle, have at it. Like don't be an idiot like me who throws his rifles,
Yeah.
chuck them shits, like it'll be all right.
Radian/BCM charging handles for all my life. Yeah, I got stuff with BCM on it. The only thing I would say is, depending on what you're running, and I actually, before we get to that really quickly, parts is parts. It's kind of sticking with me. I mean, I could see why you would say that, and that's a fair point. And I would kind of put that in the same category as like they all work, right? Like, yes, parts are parts until pushed to a certain limit, right? So I like Dust is saying, make sure your shit runs, make sure it works, push it beyond a certain limit of, you know, uh,
The norm.
yeah, yeah, and think of it like this, right? If you're the type of person that thinks like, okay, friends, if your friends have to like earn trust, right? So if you're putting together a rifle, building a rifle, buying a rifle, whatever, think of it like a new friend that you're figuring out if you can trust them yet. They have to prove it to you that you can trust them. And rifles are the same way. Pistols that you build or whatever your thing is, they have to prove themselves to you. And the only way they can prove themselves to you is by taking it to the range, pushing the shit out of it, and seeing where failure points are, and make them prove it to you.
Yep. It's funny. Joe Morris said it like the best. I can't say it any better. He's like, my shit don't just work; it runs.
Yeah,
Well, and that's just all types of ammunition. Like I could run steel case through my firearms, through my ARs, and I'm not worried about it. And
hmm,
that's like the frowned upon thing. It's like steel case. What are you crazy? And I'm like, I don't care. Like run it. Run 100 rounds of steel case through my shit. I don't care because I know it's gonna run. Will I
yeah.
be checking in my extractor after? Absolutely. I will be inspecting parts, but I know it will run.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Red Dawn Readiness says the only thing that matters really is gas system, barrel, and BCG. You can get by with less. And So this is a a perspective, and I like to know your thoughts on it too. Um, you know, yes, and it depends on where you're at. Like if like right
One
now,
sec- 1 second. I'm sorry.
yeah, go ahead. Like right now, like I'm trying to be super cautious with any expenses at all, right? So for me, if I'm putting together a build when I'm trying to be super cautious with expenses, then I'm going to be very particular on what parts I'm putting money into. Now, generally speaking, I'm usually like on that frag out build that I put together. Shout out to frag out, my guy. If you're still out there, appreciate you, bro. You're the man, and he does some incredible work. Um, but those were Anderson receivers, gorgeous Anderson receivers that were lasered by frag out, and the work is incredible. But I only put money into the barrel, the BCG, and the gas system, right? It's a Noveski barrel, Noveski gas system, gas block and gas tube, and it's a decent BCG, but just decent enough. It's a Battle Arms Development BCG, and I'm just seeing how far I can push that BCG to see if they're pure trash or not, because I think Battle Arms Development white labels a lot of shit, and I just kind of want to see where they're at. But um, I need 2 seconds as well. But talk about your current like top two setups, and give me 1 sec. I'll be right back.
Um, I have my 11.5 nights, which is cool. I love that. A 14.5 nights that I haven't really built out. But to be honest, my Geisley, I really do like my Geisley. Like Red Dawn Ready said, the whole he said the only thing that really matters is gas system, barrel, BCG. You could really worry about less with everything else. In my opinion, true and false. That is true. Those are main factors of like a setup, right? But I also worry about my buffer system, my spring and my buffer weight. That also change. That's a game changer. That's the difference between your shit running rough and a softer shooting and cycling. Really, really well. So there's that. But yeah. As far as ARs, 11.5 and a 13.9, that's kind of like my shit, my go-to. I have a 16. I have another 11.5. I have another 10.5. But the 11.5 and the 13.9, I don't know. Those are just the setups I like. You know, that's a part of the gas system for. All right, so understood. Yeah, as far as the upper and the lower, that's housing everything. You kind of want to make sure, like at least your upper has sees a lot of action. Your lower, I don't know. Your lower receiver, I would worry about less. I would make sure everything else is on the up and up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it really depends on like where you're at. Like I was saying when you stepped away for a sec, like if I'm doing a build and I'm trying to be super conscious of the money I'm putting out, then yeah, I may you know only put more money into the barrel, the BCG and bolt, and the um, you know gas block and gas tube, and go cheaper on some other things, but not like bottom of the barrel cheap. Like I
Absolutely.
don't own any Bear Creek Arsenal parts, like literally at all. Okay. Now a lot of people are like, well, I have a BCA 11.5 and I've run, 74,000 rounds through it last night, and like, all right, that's what's up. And at the same time, um, my bad. Well, he's calling me when I'm live. Come on, bro. Um, but like I also know people that have, purchased parts from Bear Creek Arsenal with the gas holes drilled on the wrong side of the barrel, So like there's always going to be inconsistencies. There always are going to be unique instances where, some parts work really well and some parts don't. So just that's just me. Like I don't use Bear Creek shit personally, but the lowest I would go on builds is, you know, PSA and Arrow, because they're basically like the, same shit.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the same thing. That would be in the realm for me. Um, Bear Creek, not knocking anybody. Like I'm not knocking anyone. If you own one and it's working for you, that's fucking great. I've opened up a few boxes at my local FFL, like just opening a box and looking at a Bear Creek, and they've had to send them back because there's literally metal shavings in the lower,
Mm.
like just straight up metal shavings, and it's like that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Picture you taking off your upper and you looking at your lower, and there's just metal shavings everywhere.
Yeah, that's
Like that's how you're sending shit out. That you couldn't even take a little bit of brake clean and or WD-40 or something. Put that shit in a
yeah.
parts washer. Do something.
Yeah. That's see, Take Money says I got Bear Creek parts so far so good. Yeah, I mean, the only thing is, and I think this is where like some people take it to a whole nother level with the brand superiority. Okay. Now, most of the dudes that do that don't know that, like, they're knocking a company that literally makes the same shit that you know what I mean, that they're saying is so great, right? They're like, oh, uh, you know, what's a good example? I don't run Ballistic Advantage stuff because I like this company, not knowing the Ballistic Advantage literally makes the barrels for the
Makes
company that.
the company that they like. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like, yeah, a lot of people don't know that, and they, um so I think the brand superiority isn't necessarily, unless the brand has truly earned it, and I think there are brands out there that have really earned a great reputation, but, until you take your shit out and run it and push it to the limit, like, would you feel comfortable taking this to a battlefield or taking it to a bank robbery? I'm just kidding. You know, that kind of thing, right? Like, would you literally put your life on that? And I think everyone here in that moment just thought of the gun that they would feel comfortable taking to that battlefield or that bank heist or whatever. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, like I said, it's all subjective shit, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I love Anderson. I'd pick an Anderson over a Bear Creek Arsenal,
All day. All day.
but that's just me.
Damn, he said Glock, yeah. Sig, no.
Hey,
See,
like I carry a Glock 19 every day, and my range gun is a Sig.
yeah. Do you ever see like any you know issues with like training or like having a different system or different mags, or any downside to that at all?
I try to keep my stuff like I like to keep things like super consistent
Yeah.
as much as I can. Like everybody likes the P mags. I
Hmm.
have a bunch of P mags which I like, but I also like my metal mags,
Hmm.
which is weird because people are like, "Why run those when P mags are fun?" And I'm like, "Well, I kind of like my metal mags. My metal mags have never failed me."
Yeah.
I've seen people have issues with their AR, and I'm like, "Yo, try this mag," and the metal mag works. you
Yeah.
know, and
Hmm.
you have the military guys who are like, "Oh, them things suck, they're beat." And I'm like, "Well, those mags have been cycled for years. Like
Yeah.
they're expired, dog. Like
Yeah.
they're sealed." But
And polymer swells,
yeah, after a while, they start like
like,
the lips on them, the
yeah,
whatever you want to call them, they
the feed
start
lobes.
spreading apart and shit.
Yeah.
It's I don't know.
Damn, Red Dawn Readiness says my favorite mags are Mission First Tactical. What?
Yo, it's crazy. I have a few. I'm pretty sure I have a few MFT mags.
I've never I've never run them, but I've never heard positive things about them, which
Yeah,
is what now I would say, like,
I've never ran them. I have them. I never ran them.
you've never run them.
I've never ran them. I haven't yet. I actually might, now to really think about it, just to see.
Damn, Drew said Sons of Liberty Gunworks is the lowest I go. I don't know if you're playing or if you're serious, but to each their own. Like a lot, I think a lot of people like select brands in their head as far as like the lowest I'll go is X because they have experience with purchasing different brands and stuff. But dude, I got PSA stuff. I have literally run PSA uppers on registered pre-86 machine guns, and you
Like,
know,
work.
yeah, they've run fine. But not every PSA upper has run fine. So it's just about consistency. So what about like other kit? Are you rocking I know in most of the classes we weren't running like plates and shit. Are you running a carrier? What's
Yeah,
your
I'm running a bullshit carrier like that. Really never really bothered me, but it's starting to bother me real bad. Like
is it
real
like
bad. I'm starting to get that itch. It's a bullshit Condor plate carrier.
Condor? Yeah,
And
we
I
all
have
got
real
one.
plates, and I'm like,
So
like
Condor with the like level 3 metal plates, you said?
I think I have level 4.
Level 4
I
metal.
think I'm pretty sure. Yo, bro, I got those plates. Them shits are probably even outdated. Like
Yeah.
I got those plates so long ago, shoved them in a plate carrier, and never took them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're in there. So you know, that's another thing on the list besides the med kit. That's something that's been bothering me is that the plate carrier, the plates, more or less. The plate carrier doesn't bother me so much.
Mhm.
Yeah, this metal plates been getting to me, man. They've been getting to me, and
You know,
I get ceramics so I could shoot them. I could
I
shoot.
I'm with you, and at the same time, like, look, if I were going into a gunfight, a lot of people say like they run into a conversation saying like, "Don't use steel. You can't use steel. That you're gonna get fragmentation on your neck." And like, bro, I would so much rather get fragmentation on my neck
Than a fucking
than
round.
yes, than a 5.56 or 308 or AK round or whatever blowing a hole through my body. I'll take metal plates all day because I got a set of metal plates too. I got level 4 ceramics too, and another carrier with level 4 ceramics too.
Yeah,
I like to have a few setups at different places.
yeah.
And, you never know when you're gonna have to go grab something. All right, like, and trust, I'm not a wealthy man, y'all. I'm just saying, I've but I don't know. I would I would rather have level 3 or level 4 steel plates and sound like a gong getting hit at 100 yards. Yeah, than just
And
dropping.
wood plates.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Spall. All right, so spall coated plates, which I have, they'll work. Those follow up shots is what you got to worry about.
Kinda work is a great way to put it. They kinda work sometimes.
Spall kills, but so do actual rounds. I'd rather take my chances than not having nothing.
Yep. Yep. I look, there was a time where, I found some really, really good steel plates, level 3 steel plates. At the time, they were like 80 something dollars. And I grabbed a $35 Scorpion. You know what? And T for Texas, brother, I think I saw you in here earlier. If you're still here, he asked me about Scorpion Tactical Gear plates. I don't know anything about their plates firsthand, but their carriers are excellent, dirt cheap, like, you know, very, very high quality Cordura carriers that they actually make. And I've appreciated their soft goods in the past. But honestly, dude, now with what is it, RMA, bro, you can get level 4 ceramics for like under $200. Like there's no reason to if you want to go get Hesco's and shit, like yes, like do your thing. Like it's the same thing we're talking about with, yes, Hesco's are Knights Armament and RMAs are PSA, right? It's about what's effective, but you're way more likely to be depending on your rifle than you are the performance of your plates. You know what I mean? Do you know how skilled a motherfucker has to be to hit a 10 by 12 area at 400 yards?
Yeah.
It's no joke, you know? So
Yeah, that's yeah, that's almost like a sheet of paper
yeah, yeah.
at 400 yards. So you can't even see that.
You need glass.
Yeah, you need glass for that. Like
Yeah.
that's essentially a precision shot.
Hmm. What are your thoughts on the Geisley 1 to 6 LPV?
I don't know. Kind of want to run one.
Your boy's got one.
Do you?
Yeah, yeah.
How do you like it?
Dude, I need to take my so I have purposefully not taken out my Super Duty yet. And being that the DLD John Crump and Flying Rich Geisley Super Duty contest is going to be judged the beginning of February. Um, I kind of went look when I cracked open that upper and I saw that beautiful bright chrome line barrel. I was like, man, I don't want to put one singular round through this thing right now.
That's it. You gotta shoot it. You gotta shoot
Oh
it.
yeah. So my plan, I don't know if I've shared this with you. At the same around the same time, I got a is it here? No, it's not here. I got a I've been waiting for a Shadow Systems Big Fish. He says, I fell asleep but woke up to the poor talk. Of course you subconsciously heard us talking poor stuff and then you came in.
Just pour. Where is it?
Yeah. Poor what? But like I got the Shadow Systems XR920C right around the same time, like within a week of getting the that 40 millimeter green Geisley Super Duty. I'm just saying. And I was like, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take so I've put 200 rounds through the XR920C. That's the only time we had to put, that's the only time I was allotted, right? Otherwise I would have put more rounds through it. But that's their break-in period. And the Super Duty and the Shadow Systems XR920C, what my plan is to literally run them to failure, not clean them, not maintain them, not oil them, not do anything but put rounds through them until they stop working, and then I'll clean and maintain them and shit like that. Just to kind of
Oil.
see how far it could go.
See how far you can go with it.
Yeah, yeah. I want to see how far, the Super Duty and the Shadow Systems can run without any cleaning and maintenance and carrying. Like I'll be carrying the Shadow Systems is what I carry to church. And I carry it some other times too, but that's my church gun.
Hmm. I mean, fuck it, run it. See what happens.
Yeah, I want to see when it stops. Like
I'm
I
gonna
want
be
to
honest. I
see,
don't clean my shit like that neither. The only
yeah,
I keep my bolt gun clean. That's it.
yeah, yeah.
Everything else lives in filth. I just oil it. I just oil it, bro.
Just add oil.
Yeah, just moisturize it.
Yeah, yeah.
I look at it, I hear it, it's like rant, 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 and I'm like, need some moisturizing.
Yo, especially if you're running suppressed, yo, I don't
Oh
know.
man, that shit builds up.
Dude, my 10-3 with the can, first off, it runs rough. Now, you can work around that by using things like the delightful Geisley braided spring and, some other stuff. But also, you savages need to apply grease to your buffer tubes, okay? Because when I charge your rifle and I can smell the shit, like it's you need once you apply not oil, grease, like actual grease. I'm not talking about you fish. I'm talking about the savages in the chat. Um, these dudes need. I'm just a poor sharecropper. You guys need to take your when your rifle is new or freshly cleaned, and you can clean your buffer tube. So if you guys know, if you've never run a can,
Mhm.
you usually need to clean your buffer tube, and you can use a shotgun 12 gauge cleaning patches and shit like that. But or larger. But you once you have it completely cleaned, take grease, choke tube grease from Walmart, whatever. I like to use the Aegis grease. Put grease on your buffer spring and then put grease on the inside of your buffer and then run the charging handle, 1,000 times right away. The moment that the grease is dispersed, you will have the smoothest charging rifle. Like it's a small little pet peeve, but I used to watch this builder, and this dude would slap together lowers like, I mean, this dude was like quick as shit, and he would literally take a paintbrush and just and then throw it together. I'm like, yo, what are you painting on your shit, bro? He's like, grease. He said, okay, take this rifle and charge it, and it was like, and you could it smelled like fucking puppy breath. And this is a brand new fucking rifle. And then when he's like, all right, now take this, and it was like, I was like, ooh, what's the difference? Grease. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, fuck it. Yo, dude knowledge uses grease. Not only on his like spring and buffer, if that, he uses grease on his BCG.
Really, grease
Yeah.
as opposed to oil.
Yes, he uses grease.
Now, does he apply like a layer of grease to the whole thing, or what's the
Um, I can't tell you. He probably hasn't cleaned one of his setups in like 40,000 rounds. It is ridiculous.
thing?
Like it's fucking gross.
See,
Like
now
his
I'm
shit is
excited,
beyond dirty. His shit is gross. Like it's like what, yo, bro, what? It,
bro.
it it's bad. I'm playing catch up with him.
Honestly, now I'm pumped to see how far I can push the Super Duty. And yo, I'm telling y'all, when I started seeing Super Duties for sale locally in gun shops for $2,599, I was like, okay, I got to get one because this is trending in a Knight's Armament direction. Oh, I can't do that.
Yeah, yeah.
I shouldn't do that. Salute. But the thing is like those shits used to be sub $1,000 for a complete rifle, right? And when they go on sale, they sell like Rich got his Luna Black for $1,260. I got my 40 millimeter green for $14.99. That shit sells for over 2 stacks in other places.
Yeah.
So do you think that they're eventually going to be
Yes.
difficult to get, more
Yes.
expensive?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. They well, not that they're getting, they have government contracts.
Yeah, I've heard
So
that.
once a company has government contracts and these contracts continue and they continue, because I don't see guys are going anywhere on these contracts. They continue and they continue.
Yeah,
That's like the beauty about the government contract. You make a firearm, right? You make a good running badass firearm. Cool. You get a contract, cool. You whatever price you give them, that's cool. But now on the back end, like on the other end, civilian end, it's like, yo, we gotta, I don't know if they have to, but there's like, yo, jack
I
up
gotta
the
make
price
up for that.
they're gonna
Yep,
pay, and that's what
yep.
it is.
Yeah, that happens a lot. They whatever money they lose on, because government does not pay a lot of money for shit, y'all.
They do
I don't
not.
know if y'all know this.
They
They
do
make up for that on the civilian market for
and the
sure.
and it works hand in hand because now civilians are like, well, the government has it. It's
So it
got to
must be good.
run. It's gonna run. It's got to be good.
Yep. Morningstar, yes, 100%. Aegis Gun Care is one of the best products out there. I dropped one off to Dudley.
I don't know if they use it. I'm pretty sure he has used it, but I haven't got a chance to use it. Maybe I should use it.
Bro, I got another kit here. It's a kit that has their solvent spray, and then it's got their lubricant. This shit, it like was literally created in a laboratory for like achieving specific surface lubricity based on scientific shit. Like, dude, if Rod with Aegis was here, he'd be able to describe all this shit, and I just don't get it like that. But first off, it smells incredible. Secondly, the feeling of when you clean your gun, and thank you for that, by the way, Morningstar. When you clean your gun with Aegis, and you have this like very light layer of oil on it, and it's like into the metal, like it's just something special, man.
Metal's porous, so they probably understand that, and it's probably has like the viscosity on it is probably like super thin, but it sticks, and that's where it comes
Yep.
into play. Like it sticks and it's slick, and it's gets into the metal, like seasons it.
Yeah, man. That's exactly. Yeah. You. better words than I. Good for 80s too. Yes, 100%. When you're building and you're having issues and you need to, kind of, rack a slide a couple thousand times, yeah, that definitely helps.
You ever use lapping compound?
Sometimes it depends on what the task is, you know. Um, so the first time I used lapping compound, well, why do you ask? Just out of curiosity.
No, I was just asking because that's something I've used.
So for like triggers or like
80,
parts. Oh,
80 on
80s.
cheaper parts, sorry. On like
Yeah.
between the slide and the actual the rails
Hmm.
and just like and on the frame itself and just racking it, racking it, racking it, racking it. Like me playing around with 80s in my 80 phase to get
Hmm.
a tight tolerance, but also like super smooth, like
Loose enough to function, but tight enough to,
like look good. Like somebody looks at it and you're just looking at the seams and you're like, oh, all
yeah.
right, how'd you do this? And I'm like, hours of racking on lapping compound and
Yeah.
cleaning that lapping compound and taking everything apart.
Yeah, I think so, like, um, depending on so what I like to do, especially with 80s, and it can be used for so many different things. I've never used lapping compound in building like P80s, but I like to do the conversion, right? Drill the frame, remove the tabs, remove the channel, clear everything out, and like once I have a usable frame, I'll install everything and install at least the intended slide that I'm gonna use for it, and then sometimes if there's some issues, the shit may not work with the slide and barrel and parts that you intend to, so you kinda have to switch some things around or troubleshoot, make adjustments, and, if I have, like, rail height issues or, like, fitment issues, usually I'll take, the LBRS, the locking block rail system from the front, and I'll turn it upside down on some, various grits of sandpaper, and I'll literally just right? And then, sometimes it just needs polishing, but a lot of times, like, the dudes that are, like, racking the shit out of guns to get them kinda smooth and work, and we've all done it, right? Um, it's polishing, right? That's all it's doing, like steel on steel, right? Metal sharpens metal, right? So you know, it's bringing this, marriage together, and it is a marriage, like, this marriage of new parts, like Shadow Systems says when they have a brand new gun and they've test fired it with their 3 rounds or whatever, and they send it out, they say you gotta run 200 rounds through it before it's almost like a marriage, and I personally agree, especially when you're tolerance stacking shit from different companies and all that, because just like a marriage, when you're bringing mofos together and they just meet, they need to spend some time together. They need to get a
Yeah,
little bit closer. They need to, then the marriage occurs and it's like, psh. But yeah, the first time I used lapping compound was actually on a Smith and Wesson model 642 J frame 38 special that I still have. My wife got that for me on like my 21st birthday, um, before we separated and all that shit. And I threw lapping compound. I took the side plate off, and with this crazy, ridiculous trigger, I mean, this is like a 10 to 12 pound trigger. I threw in a bunch of lapping compound, some wolf springs, and I pulled that trigger 10,000 times to polish it out, and it's improved, but it's still like an 8 pound trigger,
yeah.
and getting the lapping compound out of that motherfucker, oh my god,
Terrible, terrible,
bro,
terrible,
never again.
terrible,
Yeah,
terrible. But I don't know, man. I gotta go to bed. I gotta get
you're
up
good, bro.
early.
Dude, I appreciate you coming on, man. I knew,
Appreciate you having me.
for you guys out there that have not subscribed, you need to go subscribe to the Tactical Turkeys and show them some love, man, because they do live streams also every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. They start at 8:30 p.m. and you can go over, do your pre-gaming with the Tactical Turkeys,
Yeah.
spend time with them, and then when I go live on here, we typically try to respect each other. Like I'll even like kind of wait for you guys to finish sometimes and then go live and
Appreciate it.
but show them some love, man. Any other anything else you want to add? Any dad advice or anything before we finish up?
Look both ways before you cross the street. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I don't know. Fucking shoot, man. Shoot. Don't be afraid to shoot. Definitely stack up on your ammo, but like shoot your shit. Shoot
yeah,
your shoot your guns. Nobody should know your gun better than you know your gun. Nobody should be able to outshoot you with your own gun.
mm,
Like
damn,
you could have the same exact setup as somebody else. They're two exact same setups, but the way you run your gun and hold your gun is going to be different from the way they run and hold it, and it's going to be two different feels. So
yeah,
just I don't know, run your gun, have fun, stay strapped, or get clapped. Like
yeah.
just
And ending on that, my question is this: with things changing and progressing in this crazy world that we live in right now, what's something you'd recommend that these folks do?
oh fuck. Um, I feel like this could be a whole nother live.
I know it's a whole nother,
Yeah,
like buy ammo, buy
yeah,
food,
buy ammo,
or is shooting. I mean, honestly, that's still really good advice. You
food,
shoot your
water,
guns.
food, water. You keep your eye open, see who's really with you, who will really ride out with you, because
Yeah,
shit hits the fan. You're gonna need somebody, and if you think you don't, you're probably gonna be first to die.
facts. Hell yeah. Well, Dust, I appreciate you coming on, bro. Guys, make sure you go subscribe to the Tactical Turkeys and go meet him, Fish, Tac Life J, Dude Knowledge, and all those guys. And Dust, brother, I'm gonna stay on for a few minutes, but
Yeah, yeah, man.
I
Do what you
appreciate
gotta
you,
do.
man.
Thank you for having me on. For those who I have not met, nice meeting you guys. You guys enjoy. Good night.
Hell yeah. Peace, brother. Thank you. Hell yeah. Dude, I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out and drink more water. Yes, yes. Being uh hydrated is important. Yeah, bro, by the way, Morningstar, thank you for throwing the links in there and shit, man. It's good to have you back and good to have you in the live chat, and I appreciate you, man. um yeah, I mean, I think it's important, some of the things like me being exposed more to Dust and a lot of the guys at MD Arsenal and doing more classes there. Like the place that I was doing classes at previously were dudes really stuck in their ways that were, I mean, they're all like GWAT guys. The instructors were all like, pretty hardcore dudes. I think all of them may have embellished a lot of their stories and things like that. But you can tell that the old school ways of other instructors from their, training has rubbed off on them, and they're not as open-minded when things change, when equipment changes, when, when things change. So, being around, Dust and Knowledge and Dudley from MD Arsenal and all those guys, like it's definitely like shifted things and running classes with them and my guy Hat Creek, bro, Hat Creek, hats off to Hat Creek. He's an excellent instructor and even taken his basic rifle course a couple times now. Like I've learned different things each time that I've gone there, and it's been great, and yeah, and getting into the whole world of gear, a lot of that came from the time I spent with them, the training events that I did with them, and pushing the gear that you got to see if it works with you is super important. I think too, strapped or clapped. Yep. I think too that um, running your shit till it fails is important, including the gear, right? Like I made a lot of mistakes purchasing really expensive shit that I didn't know if it was going to work for me or not. And yeah, I guess the only way to figure it out is running it with your setup, like running your belts, running your Safariland holster or whatever. Like not everyone uses Safariland. I don't know why you wouldn't. I'm just playing. They, in my opinion, have the best overt rig. Period. But some dudes rock alien gear, some dudes rock, other holsters. But if you're going to be carrying on a rig like this, okay, if you have to have all the retention that you can, okay, especially on like on the mags, bro. I was using HSGI, the high speed gear tacos prior to this, and I had a lot of issues with those. I had a lot of issues re-indexing with those. I had a lot of issues with once you use the dog shit out of them, they're different when you go to re-index, right? So I switched over to the S-Tac, and these have been awesome. Love them. A lot of people give me shit for having 3 pistol mags on here. Well, here's the great news. It's mine. Fuck off. I threw on the S-Tac, the miniature Skittles pouch here, and for a baby dump pouch. This has been awesome. And then the medical kit, the micro trauma kit now, dude, this has helped prevent so many other problems. I can literally now finally comfortably sit down with my medical kit on and still not feel like I am under equipped, right? Because there's a if you guys saw how much stuff I packed in to my former IFAC that was on this, it was a lot. It was a lot of stuff. Some would say too much. So this allows me to, roll. Well, you know what? Let's do this. Hold on. So this is basically a sleeve, and then this has an inner piece which has 2 tabs on either side, and you can pull it out. So let's go through it. Do y'all want to go through it? What's in the IFAC? I don't know if I would call this a complete IFAC, okay? But man, I'm kind of surprised how little retention that see, and this is shit that you learn, right? And I honestly like obviously I'm not in the field or anything, right? But that shit slid right out. Maybe the piece of car. Oh, bro. Okay, I was gonna say the piece of paper I put in there to slide this in was blocking the Velcro from holding it in. I was literally just thinking, I wonder if the piece of cardboard or paper is still in there. Okay. Yes. Okay, we'll go over it. So this is the micro trauma kit now. I do have a attorney on this side, and usually if I'm wearing like I've kind of transitioned to almost exclusively wearing the Vertex jeans and the Vertex. There was a huge sale on these $89 Vertex pants that are almost like the navy blue, like Dickies kind of material, like almost like uniform like material, but they're super super comfortable. They're stretchy, but they're crazy durable. They're reinforced, and they have the pockets in between your front pockets and back pockets. There are hidden pockets on the side that can fit like a PMAG, like a 30 round PMAG on each side. So you can throw a second tourniquet in there. You can throw one on each side if you want to. So this is the sleeve on the micro trauma kit now. And you like how that's blue? I know, I like it too. And then this is the setup. Currently, I took the see, I can do this without getting in trouble. I took the because yes, I'm a multicam guy. Whatever. I know not everyone likes it. This is the Safariland 6390, 6930, 6390. I don't remember. I covered up the label with the multicam wrap, but I wrapped this holster myself. It was all black prior, and this is 6390 with the drop leg, and I wrapped the drop leg as well. And then I took off the Safariland leg strap, and I used another brand. I don't remember the companies, but it's way tighter, but it's still stretchy enough. But it's not like super stretchy, and it's multicam, so why not? But anyway, so once you pull it out, this is your trauma kit, okay? And you open it up, and you have all this stuff inside. So secondarily, just to kind of make sure I had stuff in here that I could use that would actually be effective, I had to throw gloves in there because I may be treating, so this is for me, right? However, uh the possibility of me needing to use this stuff on someone else is also a possibility. So you got to keep it real with yourself. So I threw gloves in there just in case I'm working on somebody else and I have the luxury of time, which probably won't happen anyway. And I threw in a survival blanket because, like I said, your body begins to have a very, very difficult time clotting your blood below 95 degrees. So you may need to, drape a survival blanket over somebody that's, had a traumatic injury. It's like glitter, somebody at the strip club. Um, that it could be a hot summer day, and they may need to have a survival blanket draped over them. So I have 2 things of gauze, 2 chest seals. I have I don't want to have to take this whole thing out, but you guys can see there's another stack under here. I have steri strips in here, which, bro, if you guys aren't familiar with steri strips, if you get cuts, lacerations, small cuts, boo-boos, where you may need, stitches or butterflies or whatever, steri strips are your friend. Um, I was going to put the skin effects, which the only reason I didn't was because that's good for some things. Um, but the issue is that with Skinifix, which basically is like super glue for your skin if you get cuts, more so for like small boo boos or small to moderate trauma. I mean, I don't know how to put. It's not going to be good for everything, right? Mostly smaller things. A lot of times when we're giving examples and talking through things, we're usually talking about like if you get a laceration on your arm or whatever. For a large, deep, how do you PWEDC carry said med kit? We're going to talk about that in a second because we got something exciting going on right now, literally right now, like as we speak, probably. Um, but and it has to do with PWEDC. What's in your prison wallet? Um, oh, I can't wait to tell you guys. All right, hang tight. Um, So here's the issue though. If I put the Skinifix in this, the way that you open it up and utilize that is by breaking a glass ampule inside, which is similar to like cracking a glass ampule in a glow stick or a Kim light, right? Shout out blue Kim lights across the world. And man, matter of fact, speaking of which, it is mid-January. So let's go up in here and let's boom. All right, I just took the Christmas thing off, so I got to change that. So anyway, because this is going to be like highly pressurized shit, like jammed in a sleeve that is on my back that may be having constant pressure pushed against it, or if I fall back or something like that, it could literally crack the ampule. And so I didn't want to deal with that. So that is in an off-body trauma kit. But basically, the only reason for this kit is if I get a traumatic injury, can I stop bleeding? Can I apply a tourniquet? And can I pack a wound? That's it. Can I apply a chest seal? Can I pack a wound? Or can I apply a tourniquet? That's all the 3 things, the only 3 things you would need to do. And I think I was way overthinking a medical kit, right? So remember, we don't fix people. We just hopefully can keep people alive until we get them to people that can fix them. So this is it. I have scaled down my medical kit tremendously to being just this stuff because I believe that this stuff is the most likely shit that I'll need. So there you go. That is how they say that. Let's see. Put that there, and it boom, rolls up in a nice little kit like this. And yes, you can put more. There are other ones that also, like if you wanted to put like a second tourniquet on top, there are other ones that are similar that give you a little bit more, options. But this is plenty. And if this can keep me alive to, whatever, y'all know what I'm saying. So totally vouch for this. It is worth every single dollar. I think I got it for like 46 or 48 bucks before shipping and tax and stuff. Or I think shipping was free. Yeah, shipping was free. But other places are selling this for like 60, 69 to 80 bucks. And I was like, yeah, I'll take that. But it's so small. It is smaller than a Chipotle burrito. Okay. And if I showed you, let me show you all the other medical kits I was using. Hang on. Okay, so excuse me. So first off, I just want to say that I love these medical kits. Okay, I love the fact that there's enough room in these that you can load these up with a gang of shit that you probably will never need or use. Even if you were, in a situation where you needed to treat yourself, the amount of shit that you can fit in these, the bulk on your belt is not worth, like, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Okay. Um, this is a savior bag. Now, the concept of this is great. Couple reasons. One, it's too big. Okay. Way bigger than a burrito. Okay. I don't know, I don't know if you can get that from just looking on this, but way bigger than a burrito. I could literally fit this 1.5 times in here easily. So the dope thing with this is that there's an insert. Okay. So when this is on your belt, you can reach around, grab this. Now, the idea around it is that you'd be able to work it out. Okay. But when you're hit and you're experiencing trauma and you're needing to pull this insert out, and I'll open it up and show you guys what I'm talking about. Yes, and I'm definitely going to do that, Morningstar. I'm going to turn it into like a standalone medical kit. Um, but Savior, if you or anybody from Savior ever sees this, dear God, this needs to be effective. This needs to be like field usage approved. So, meaning that when I need the shit that's on the insert, I'm going to be weak. I'm going to be bleeding out, and it needs to be tight enough. It needs to be held in there tight enough, but I also need to be able to pull it out with both hands behind me, right? Like so in practice, it doesn't work. That's as far as I can get it open. So if I start like pulling it like as hard as I can, like I'll start to work at it away and pull the zippers out, but it's just Savior, bro. I'm sorry, it doesn't work. Okay. So you actually have to completely open this mofo up. And then that opens this up to open your to expose the insert. Now, in the insert, this itself is perfect. The size of it, the idea, like the concept is great, and this fits about how much stuff the burrito can fit, right? Which it's great for that. Now, on the inside, you have basically the one side that will be holding that, and you can fit other stuff in there too. But then on the other side, you can put an Izzy bandage and like one of the pressure bandages, other gauze, another tourniquet, other stuff in there, right? And then you close it up. Okay, so follow my logic here. Then you close it up, Velcro that back, right? And you can Velcro it all inside just in case you're going to be doing like, if you're out there for the high speed dudes that are doing jumps and climbing and all this, whatever. I'm not doing that shit. All right. Um, and now the front, I love the front because here you have a zipper pouch. Okay. Now this zipper pouch, you can put small swabs, small baggies of medications, small, whatever. You can put the ampules of Skin Effects in there. You can put anything, right? Like you can pack shit in there. And for me personally, in most of my med kits, I put the medication that I'm on in there because it's good to have it just in case. If I literally had to leave my house with nothing but my gun belt on, I know that I got, over 100 rounds of ammo usually. And, or no, I'm sorry. It would be, so what, how many? So 50, 30, 45. It's like under 100 rounds, but my bad. I was thinking of my plate carrier and belt. So it would be 161, like 70 something rounds, whatever, something like that. Sorry, I had to count through it real quick. But if I have to take my gun belt, throw my gun belt on and roll out and, just with a handgun, just go do some work, or just with a rifle slung up in a gun belt, what do I have on myself that is going to keep me good for like 1 to 3 days, max? It's an unlikely scenario, but I'm just saying, what if all I could grab was my gun belt, right? So keeping shit like that in there is important. Now, the other dope thing is that they have this flap right here, right? It's a really, really cool texturized rubber flap that when you open it up, it's got spots for Sharpies in there, and it's got a spot for your um trauma shears in there. It is great, and it is big. Even if you don't pack it full of shit, you still have it's not a soft bag, right? It's a durable, tough bag, which is great, but it's going to be this size no matter what, whether you pack it full or not. So definitely good, and definitely not good for the application that I that I want, right? So if you're putting something over your effing tailbone, which one would you rather have there? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, like let's be real. And holding about the same stuff, I'm just making a sacrifice. I'm taking out the trauma shears and I'm taking some of the meds out of there. So I need to make adjustments for that in my other shit, right? So that's one. Two, I used to frequent this army surplus store that no longer exists. They do not exist, and they're gone. They're out of business. It sucks because they were a great place to just stop to grab like whatever. If I needed a medical kit, I would stop by and just go get my hands on stuff and see what works. Right now, this is super durable, but it's also flat. Like you can flatten it down if you need to, but when it's packed and loaded, it's good. I wouldn't recommend this for rocking it on your belt. I'm just going to be real. Okay. However, this they made a mistake. This was like a $59 bag that they tagged as like an $11, bullshit surplus thing. And I found it that actually was khaki colored and I wanted to make it red. So I made it red. You know me. Anyway, so the dope thing about this is, first off, downside, you have to open it from the zippers, right? So you can't like this, the micro trauma kit now, you can literally just grab, right, and tug it out, and it is in your hand. You could do it with your left hand, with your right hand, no matter, what's going on, you can grab it from either side, which is great. However, this you can only open this from the zippers, and you're not pulling this shit off your kit, okay? Because if you've ever worked with Molly, once your belt is around you and closed, okay, you're not pulling these buttons out from that Molly, okay? Even if you rip it out and whatever, you're not doing it. So yeah, but when you open this up, it has two mesh bags on each side, and you can load this up. Like this thing, each side can be packed. I honestly I could put ridiculous amounts of shit in here, and you can just load each side up it like to the max and have like a super um I kind of want to like load it up with some shit to show you guys how fat it can get. But that's an issue. Now, the one of the benefits of this is you can either weave it through like a traditional, any type of Molly attachment, right? And you can have it super tight onto your kit, either up on your back to where you can sit kind of comfortably, or you can have it low and then not weave it through your belt to where when you sit down, it pops up, which is way more comfortable because it pops all the way up instead of being affixed on the lower side. Or when you stand back up, it goes down and it moves a little bit. And the guy described that to me, and I was like, "That's a pretty damn good idea, right?" And yeah, I mean it's cool, but yeah, it's just in practice when you have something that is this fat on your back, especially when you're already a big dude, it's like it's too much. So I opted out of that one. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to use these things, right? So, with my other random medical shit that's laying around, I'm literally just gonna grab the shit, load it up in there, and then put them in other places to where, I already got stuff in the car, and stuff in the trunk, stuff in my bag, stuff in my master bedroom, stuff in the kitchen, stuff in because you never know when you're gonna come across a medical issue or trauma or whatever. So yeah. So let me see. I smell conspiracy. Put the burrito into it. The one the one that was by my cousin's house, Joe's Army Surplus, closed down years ago. Oh, a conspiracy as far as yeah, it's funny how that works, right? The owner was on a trip to Venezuela and was murdered. Bro, that sounds super sketchy. Dark regarding previous comment. Now you show the big kit, put medium sized kit on headrest, not the big one. Yeah, dude. So I think it's important to place these things all throughout the typical places in your life that you're going to be, right? And I think that we so commonly overlook medical because we're looking at it defense, self-defense, liberty, the likelihood of me discharging a firearm against people. Like we're always thinking from a standpoint of like, slaying tyranny, right? Well, you know what? This is the first shirt that I actually literally just made myself. Tyrant eradication team. We're always thinking from this standpoint, right? Props to whoever can identify that long gun. If you can, here, I'll bring it closer. Oh, 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 hold on. There you go. That's a little bit better. Disobedience becomes duty. And I don't know if y'all saw this dude is wearing quite possibly the most based patch he could. Got that DLD patch on his shoulder. Look at that. Look at that. Um, the, the other thing is I ordered a new DLD hoodie, and I ordered a double XL, and they sent me a small. So I'm literally gonna let my 6-year-old daughter wear this small DLD hoodie. Um, I don't know. There's just something that's like super based about children wearing DLD merch. I don't know. I think it's super cool. Um, But anyway, getting back to it, medical is super sexy. Yeah, that's the other thing is like people don't see it as like sexy, right? Like we're thinking from the standpoint of like tyrant eradication. Like, what do I need? I need, stuff that can, put holes in people. I need stuff that can, squash tyranny in its place, and like yes, that's true. And you may get shot when you're on that the spiritual battle of fighting tyranny. You may get shot. Your buddy may get shot. One of your family members may get shot. Your gun may blow up in your face, and you may have to repair said face. So, um, so for the people that don't know, all the Sleepy Roofer merch is available. Everyone has received their items, and they're shipping. So on DLD hardware, all the merch is available. So that's why I'm ordering all this stuff. And there's 2 Sleepy Roofer hoodies. Both are available. Both are shipping. Everyone has received their stuff. It's well, I know I did, Kurt did, and I think the other folks did too. And yeah, so if you guys are interested in merch, you can go to DLD Hardware. It's a little bit of a pain. I'm working on kind of situating some stuff on DLD Hardware where it's not as it's broken down to like bestsellers, featured, and stuff like that, featured products. What I really would like to do is break it down to jigs, one section full of jigs, tools, one section full of tools, merch and stickers and patches and stuff like that, and have like 3 sections. So, hey, John Crump, buddy, good to see you, man. So all the Sleepy Roofer stuff is all available, but here's the thing though. Okay, so and I know Sport Brand can attest to this. When you take a hoodie and you do all over print, you may have a hoodie that's like $29.99, right? But then you add the cost of printing on the front. Then you add the cost of printing on the back. Then you add the cost of printing on the left sleeve, and then the right sleeve, and then the hood, and then I add the DLD Kimlight on the tag. Dude, I I'm only making like a few bucks on the hoodies, and they're like $56. They're not cheap. But there are no other hoodies in the world that have um full-time sleepy ATF agents on them. So it's up to you guys. I will say though, I added the dopest hoodie now that the second one has been uploaded to DLD Hardware. It is it honestly looks like a like luxury monogram. I called it the ATF-ogram hoodie, where it's got the stars all over it, which the stars are just 4 ATF agents in like a cross formation. And then the front in like a navy blue with a white background. And then the front pocket is the Sleepy Roofer picture in navy blue. It's so dope, man. It is fire. Like I would rock that hoodie if I was walking through the store and I came across that hoodie. I'd be like, "Whoa, who made that? Like that is dope. How much is that?" Um, but then I also have just the standard DLD hoodie with like the, gray, black, white with just the DLD Kim light. I have the Gov did 911 shirt. And then I'll be uploading the so let me ask you this, okay? Because somebody shout out to Kron. Kron is an awesome developer in the 3D, 3D printed world and all that. I posted a picture of this shirt on Instagram, and he was like, "Bro, that's so cringe. Should I even upload this to DLD hardware? Would it even be worth it for me to upload this?" Like, I thought it was dope because like it's not off center. It's just I'm holding it weird like that. Um, I thought it was dope. Like, I have a whole line of stuff that's going to be like Tyrant Eradication Team, uh, Pedo, Expulsion Unit, like, stuff that's like we like Chomo, a whole, like almost like a brand within a brand of like, what do we hate? Tyrants, Pedos, all those things. And I was going to do stuff like based around kind of that concept. Look at the shit Guns and Gadget sells. I'd say it's in line. Yeah, some people, dude, I had on that Instagram post where I was like, is this too spicy? I had people say yes. I had people say that it was too spicy. I'm like, bro, do you even know what this is? Like you're talking about an event where the government killed scores of civilians, and this hoodie is too spicy. This shirt is too spicy. Showing a picture. Look, as crazy as this may sound, okay, Fluffy, I'll allow it. As crazy as this may sound, oh, actually, you know what? Let me say it differently. There are people that have come back through and ordered stuff that have not received it yet. That like it's still being processed. So For some people that probably heard that are waiting on their order, they're probably like, I haven't received it yet. What the hell? So don't trip out. Like I found out how to process it and how to have them fulfill it. But when I get an order, I have to manually go in and fulfill it. But I do it immediately now that I know how to do it. But it was just a ridiculous setup. Like it is stupid that it's set up that way. But anyway, so going back to it, hold on, what was I saying before that? But like, dude, you're telling me like this is too spicy? Like my hoodie is too spicy when the government is literally killing unarmed people? Like what? But anyway, some people are a little more sensitive. And some people are like, yo, I don't want anything anti-government related at all. It's, you know, I don't know. Anyway, it's up to each individual as far as what they want to do. If you want to rock a flag, and by the way, Fluffy, I saw, you said you got a whole plan for your thing. Like, hell yeah, do your thing. If you want a sleepy roofer flag, if you want a sleepy roofer backpack, if you want to sit, like, they're all there and available, but you don't have to get anything. And for the people that have, a thing or two to share with DLD about his, merch, do me a favor, guys. If you see what I'm doing is, you know, offensive, if you feel that it's like celebrating death, just do me a favor and fuck off. Like that's the only thing I can think of. Now, with that said, though, hang on. Um, I'm going to tell you guys something that may be shocking to some. I support law enforcement. I support law enforcement. And just like, what's the best way to say this? Just like anything else, not all people are good. Not all people are just. Not all people are holy. Not all people are, I mean, not holy in the sense of that. You know what I mean, right? There, it's probably not the best way to phrase it, but not all people are good, positive, just, and kind. And just like there are bad people, there are bad police officers. There are bad sandwich artists at Subway, right? Like, it's. I'm trying to. What I'm trying to say is that just because I put, yeah, all people are just human beings. Exactly. I don't want people to be like, oh, Dark put, fucking, um, a slain ATF agent on merch. So he must, hate the boot. I mean, yeah, I hate the boot on our necks, but I don't hate the individuals, right? Like I hate the system. I hate the I don't know. It's a gray area when you're talking about, because some people will literally hit me up and be like, "Yo, what you're saying does not line up. How can you stand for what you stand for and be like, all, limited government and all this, but then not see that every single police officer is an extension of I get it, but they're human beings and they're people. And honestly, what I've seen for the police officers and all that, for law enforcement, I've actually seen most of these dudes get into it because they want to make changes, because they want to, have a positive. Do they all do that? Absolutely not. I've had terrible run-ins with law enforcement. I have literally had firearms pointed at my face and my body from law enforcement. It was completely unjust, completely wrong. Illegal searches and seizures. I have been illegally detained. I've been handcuffed and searched, and I have more reasons to despise law enforcement than I do to support them. And I support law enforcement, but I despise the government. I despise the system. Do I think there are people that literally, by definition, are like their job is to, you know, break down our natural rights and to encroach on our natural rights? Yeah, that's a valid point. And I've also met some of the most based police officers that are like, no, I'm not going to ask you for that. You have your natural rights, and I'm not going to, like, you have rights that are protected by the Constitution. And I'm like, damn, like, I don't know. I just think, when we think so small and when we think in a very limited fashion, it's not good for anyone. So, Yeah, I'm just trying to look at things differently and add like a healthy perspective. Because it would be so much easier for me to, take to have a hot take and, take a stand and say like all cops by definition are, breach, like whatever, dude. They're just people, man. I don't know. And maybe out there's a police officer that's going to see this and be like, man, like maybe I should have more of awareness, and maybe I should take opportunities to inform people of their rights. Dude, if you can change the world one interaction at a time if you do that. Okay? For real. You can literally shift the perspective of every single person in your community if you chose to do that. Inform people of their rights. You may have we need police officers. Yes, I'm not a general fan, agreed, but we need them. Should have considered becoming one. A, because I like tactical shit, right? B, because I want to be on the inside, make changes and know things. Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of people talk, discuss that too. I just think that when we are thinking so close-minded and so limited that you will cast the same shadow over an entire group of people, as it's the same thing as, racism and, like it's a very small-minded way to think about things when you say all cops are bastards, all cops are bad, like no, that's stupid. That's like saying, well, I can't say that. Not can't. I shouldn't say that. All people of X color are X. Like, no, you don't do that. All people in this job are this. All mechanics are thieves. Like, dude, come on, man. I got the dopest mechanic in the world. I don't even know if any of that shit made sense. Can you let me know if am I tripping? Like, am I am in support of law enforcement. That's all I'm saying. I get messages from people and they're like, almost like trying to like, say like, man, those damn, those damn, cops are just an extension of the government. And by definition of them enforcing law, they are the enemy. They are the enemy that they're encroaching on our natural rights by merely existing. They're wrong and evil and this and that and deserve to be, treated as burglars and rapists. And I'm like, what? Like every single person that has come to me and said, police are gone, or police are wrong, police are bad, they need to be gone, they need to be, dealt with, they should be treated like, a burglar entering your home if they go to serve a warrant or whatever. Every single person that I've had a conversation to, when I had a conversation with about the same topic, when I'm talking to them, I ask them, okay, if the idea of police is a bad idea, then let's develop it a little bit more. Let's talk it through. Let's talk about it, right? And I'm like, if you don't agree with police and the way police is, currently set up, what would you recommend? And they're like, oh, well, I think community communities coming together. Because I mean, you don't need to tell people like not to kill. They know that killing is wrong or whatever, bro. You, then they're like, people just naturally won't kill and won't steal because of the social repercussions from their community or whatever. Not true. One, two. They say community policing is what they need. People within their community keeping things in order. I say, okay, well, would you recommend that like they develop like a small group? They're like, yeah, put like a group of guys together. Okay, should they be armed? Well, I mean, probably, right? I think everyone should be armed, always. Literally everyone should be armed. Um, should they be armed? Well, I mean, yeah, they should probably be armed if they're enforcing law, right? Okay, well, how big should the group be? Well, it depends on how big the community is. Okay. Should they be like officials or should they just be like neighbors? Well, I guess they would kind of need to be officials so they could be like seen as like leaders within this group, okay? And eventually we literally go through a conversation and recreate the fucking police. So they're saying tear this system down. We need to tear this system down and remove these police to create police. Like what? Now, aside from this, on a completely different conversation, the system itself, the federally funded, the businesses, most police stations are businesses that are federally funded, and they basically are on a, I think Joe Vacu mentioned, is like a 1033 program or whatever it is, where as long as they push initiatives that the federal government ask them to, and as long as they do certain things based on the federal government, they'll receive certain funding, they'll receive, certain equipment and vehicles and all this stuff, and they'll receive guns and ammunition and privileges and benefits and things like that. That shit is wrong. Okay. That is the federal government overreaching, overextending, and encroaching into all of our lives and our natural rights. That shit's wrong. Okay. I don't think that all that shit's wrong. That's all I'm saying. Do I think that policing for profit is the way? No, I think the whole system is broken. I think that I have zero faith in the judicial system. I have zero faith within the entire justice system. I have zero faith within the police from the standpoint of the connection between federal, state and local law enforcement and all that shit, but don't take it out on the individuals. That's all I'm saying. And bro, I know, I promise you, if I look up my channel right now, I lost subscribers tonight by saying this. I promise you, I guarantee it. I lost subscribers. But I'm not, who the fuck am I if I am not true to myself and share what I truly believe instead of trying to be spicy and share hot takes all the time? Like, that shit's stupid, you know? Yeah, if there have been videos that I've seen and situations I've seen, articles that I've read where somebody was driving by an incident and they saw a police officer that was, you know, being beat up on by two guys and ended up in a gunfight and all this. And one that a dude just got the upper hand on him, and he was laying his ass down, and somebody pulled over, stopped, and helped and saved the police officer's life. I would do that shit, provided that my family was safe and I had the opportunity. Look, first things first, self, two things: preservation of innocent life, preservation of self. Those are the two things that are most important. Now, would I put myself in harm's way to save a life? Yes. Do I give a fuck if the life is a police officer or a librarian? Or no, I'm going to do whatever I can to preserve innocent life. Well, you don't know that he's innocent. Okay, true. No one is innocent. Literally, no one is innocent. Everyone is a sinner. No one is a saint. That's just the way, that's the world that we live in. But if another man or another person is attacking and mercilessly beating someone and trying to remove their sidearm and kill them, I would have no problem depositing a couple, hollow points into their dome. Like, no problem at all. Yeah, it's an interesting topic, man. I'm not pro or anti-police. They are there. They There will always be a policing force. The problem is the policy, yes, and cops that are going along with bad policy. And absolutely, I totally agree. And I think the things that need to be changed. I think a lot of times people look at things from a skewed lens. DLD, I recommend 10th Amendment Center YouTube channel. Okay, I'll check it out, man. Don't plead guilty to charges when your activities are constitutionally protected. Yeah, see, that's the other thing, man. Okay. I was conflicted on whether or not I was going to share this today or not. Give me 1 second. I just need some nicotine. So it's probably best if I just bring this to you guys, tell you guys what occurred, and allow you guys to make a recommendation of the best way to follow and like of what direction to follow. Okay. So I saw a comment on one of my posts on Instagram today. It's literally happened today. And somebody said, check your DM requests. Usually I'm just like, whatever, dude. Like, because people are, I mean, I am constantly getting messages that are just like, it's hard to keep track of. And there are people in there that I care about, right? That I like, if it's like viewers and people from DLD hardware, and there are people that I do want to talk to, but most of it's just bullshit. And whatever. But I go in there, I look at the message requests, and the only reason I'm sharing this is because they're okay with sharing it. It was a dude who said, "Hey, I wanted to contact you because one of your viewers, Craig Liquor. I'm sure all of you have seen Craig Liquor in the chat, in my chat, in the Tactical Turkeys chat, in John Crump's chat, in Flying Rich's chat, in 2AEDU's chat. Craig Liquor is all over the place, right? He's been a viewer for a long time. But if you've seen Craig Liquor in the chat before, shout out, put a one in chat or yes or something. Um, and apparently he had just gotten arrested. Like, what is today? Tuesday, yesterday. Uh, and basically, they're asking if there's a way that we can help, and I'll explain the situation. And I we're going to be way less effective if we try to crowdfund for him for a couple reasons, and I'm going to explain what happened and why I'm saying this. So I reached out to somebody at the GOA. I explained to them what happened, and I asked if they'd be interested in helping or supporting, and they said they're going to look into it, check with the legal team, and see if they can support. That's probably the best and most effective thing that I could do. Okay, because in cases where people that I'm close with are wrongfully arrested, I will do absolutely every single thing that I can to help. I will support, I will try to raise money for like CRS, for an example, right? I'll raise money for people like Justin and CRS, and I think that what they're doing is wrong, and also um, because the alleged crime is not what they're saying it is, right? But what I was told is this: he he's had a couple little things here and there in his past, but hasn't really been like in trouble. Like, he's not like a bad dude at all. But he was in his car, and he took the keys out of the ignition, threw them in the console, stepped out of his car, and was smoking a cigarette side of the road. And a police officer had driven by and had like looked at him, but then just kept it moving. And then like a minute or so later, the cop came back, pulled up, turned his lights on, got out of the car, and was like, I know who you are. What do you have on you and stuff like that. And he was like, it was super weird. And I didn't speak to Craig directly. I spoke to his friend. Okay, so this is a story coming from Craig Licker, who went to his friend, who went to me. Okay, I'm sure things were lost in translation. And basically asked what he had on him. And it sounds like, from what I'm guessing, is that he was illegally searched. And when they searched the vehicle, they found a 3D printed handgun and a like a couple maybe stick mags, or like the 33 round mags, or 17 round mags, or whatever, like a couple mags. Now, in my head, I'm thinking like, okay, like what's like, I don't understand what the problem is, right? Well, it's Rhode Island, okay? And as of sometime in 2020, all privately manufactured firearms were like, outlawed in Rhode Island. It sounds like Rhode Island is way more extreme than California, than New York, than it seems like Rhode Island is like extremely like totally anti self-protection and self-defense, and you can't have anything. You can't have pepper spray. You can't have anything. Okay. And location, facts. And this is in Rhode Island. Yeah, yes. Yep. And he got arrested. Well, he had recently he got caught with like a lock picking set or something like that in December, and they arrested him, right? And it's crazy because we were literally just talking about the combs. Like we were just talking about the lock picking combs and how let's see, hold on. I mean, these are essentially master keys, right? Like that's crazy, right? Anyway, apparently this was like back in December. He apparently got caught with like a lock picking set or something like that. Turned himself in, and they had released him. Well, they ROR'd him, which is released on your own recognizance, and he was on bail. So he was now caught on the streets with a 3D printed gun and two high capacity magazines. And apparently, Rhode Island has this thing called gun court. It is literally a court exclusively for illegal firearms stuff. And they take it very seriously. And they actually have like some type of charge, like that, like ghost gun is in the name. Like they're calling it a ghost gun, and high capacity magazines or large capacity magazines, whatever. And because he was on bond, this is a violation of his bond. So they're holding him without bond until he can go in front of a judge like March 18th. Okay, so even if we were to I heard somewhere it's good to hide those in your shoes. I don't know though. Yeah, they're helpful tools at times. But anyway, it's like we wouldn't even know, even if we did start like trying to crowdfund and help to raise like bail and or something for the family or something like that, or for legal fees or for a lawyer or like something. I it, we'd be better off asking for an organization like GOA, which I did to support, because I don't think it's I don't know, like I look. Should he have been arrested for carrying a firearm? Absolutely not. Should he have been arrested for carrying a home-built firearm? Absolutely not. Do I believe that it is unlawful, unconstitutional, and illegal for them to arrest anyone for merely possessing a firearm? There is no crime possessing a firearm. It is impossible, in my opinion, for possessing a firearm to be a crime in any way. Possessing an unserialized gun, possessing a machine gun, possessing a fucking suppressed full auto, whatever. There is no crime. It's impossible. It's not hurting anyone. It's not doing anything. It's not. I don't believe that there's a way. However, remember, we talk about this all the time. We have to acknowledge the world that we live in, okay? And he did something illegal. Now, do I agree with it? Absolutely not. Do I think it's wrong and evil and completely out of like what we believe in? 100%. Totally disagree with it in every single way, okay? And at the same time, he did something illegal, something that's illegal in Rhode Island. So I don't know. I mean, I don't feel comfortable. And Craig, you're probably going to get out one day and see this. And I'm just being totally honest and forthright with my feeling on this, because I just got this information today, and I want to help every single one of you, right? Um, so we were. That's a different story, and I don't want to align that, so that would sound bad. Um, well, fuck it. There's another situation. There was a guy who, was caught with like an FRT, right? And he contacts like GOA and SAF and FPC and all these people, like asking if he'll, if he can get help. he was caught with an FRT, and a lot of people are trying to, like a lot of organizations are trying to fight against frag out. Thank you, bro. These are now available at DLD Hardware. Kurt24 just got his today. Thank you, frag out. I don't know if you heard me talking about you earlier, but I love you and I love the work that you do. Check out Frag Out Design Studios. Check out Frag Out on Instagram and YouTube and all these lovely platforms. But so the guy reached out to different organizations and was trying to, you know, get some help. And when they pulled the police report, he was caught with like 18 Glock switches, a bunch of auto sears, a bunch of drop-in auto sears, a bunch of 3D printed auto sears, and an FRT. Now, there's currently an injunction on the FRTs and things like that, and force reset triggers. So, from what I understand, they're lawful now. I've never purchased one. I've never owned one. I don't own one, but for people out there that do, apparently they're currently lawful. Um, but who knows what's going to change? They could get a stay, and then boom, it's reverts right back to the bullshit. But anyway, so they were like, yeah, like we want to help and we want to support, but you broke the law. Right? Like if you were caught with an FRT and you were wrongfully arrested, we would help and support you, but you were caught breaking the law. Right? So how could they in good faith then go support, so that's kind of where I'm at. And I don't want to compare those two together. But the problem is that in Rhode Island, that's the law. Do I agree with it? Absolutely not. Do I think it's wrong? Absolutely, 100% it's wrong. But, I just, can't in good conscience, go say, like let's raise money for him for bail that we don't know what it's going to be. We don't know if he'll even be eligible for bail in March. We don't even know what to raise. We don't know what to like. We don't know. So in my opinion, I think our best bet is to hope that the GOA and other people can potentially support. Who knows? The GOA may be like, dude, we have been waiting for a 3D printed firearm case. We have been waiting for an unserialized frame case, a polymer 80 case, or you never know. Like they could literally jump in and save the effing day. Okay. And I'm not saying, dude, Craig Licker has always been an incredible supporter. He has always been in here. He's always been commenting. He's, been super supportive of DLD hardware, of merch. I just looked and I told his boy that called me, I was like, yo, his merch is like literally being delivered like today or tomorrow. I forgot, but it was like come and I felt terrible, man. But it's just kind of fucked up that I feel like I don't know. Am I looking at this through like the wrong lens? Am I like jaded in the way that I'm looking at this? Like if I've had people reach out to me on a lot of different occasions asking for support, and I want to help and support. Um, but let's say if I were to raise money, first off, again, like I said, we don't know if bail is even he's being held without bail right now. We don't know if bail is even going to be an option. We don't know if he needs money, what money he needs. It sounds like he just needs a lawyer, right? So that's why I went to the GOA, and they may not be able to help him or want to help him. And I don't mean to say anything bad about um, the GOA. Like they select who they can help and support based on what they can do and all that. But like so if we were to do something, then what if one of y'all were wrongfully arrested for not doing anything illegal tomorrow? And we had just put a lot of time, energy, resources, and money into trying to help somebody that did break the law, even though we don't agree with the law, even though it's wrong. It sounds bad, man. I don't mean for it to sound like that, but I'm just, bro, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all 100%. I'm gonna keep it real every single time. You know, slavery was the law, bro. Trust me, I'm with it. Like I think it is impossible for for possession of a firearm to be illegal. I believe it is literally impossible. Okay. If I was driving around with an M60, full auto M60 E4 mounted to the top of my vehicle, and I'm just driving around and running errands, and how could that ever be illegal? How could that possibly hurt somebody? The gun can't do anything. I can. Believe me, I just had a conversation with my 6-year-old explaining that she said guns were violent. And I was like, "Where'd you hear that?" She's like, "I don't know." I said, "Okay, how can guns be violent?" And I had to have the conversation with her about the person, right? It's about the individual. And I forgot the comparisons that I used, but it was basically like, you know, can my car be sad? Can my car be happy? Can my car be mad or angry? Can my car be violent? Could it be used for violence? For sure, but and that's a whole different thing. Sorry, but anyway, my outlook on this is that, like, I want to help. My heart goes out to the guy, and I did put a call in, right? I put a call in, and I'm trying to get help for him from, like, the legal standpoint. I just don't think that crowdfunding is going to do anything when, one, we don't even have an idea of if bail is a thing, or if. But it sounds like what he needs is a lawyer, and I put a call in for that. I think that's the best that we can do. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if I'm looking at this in a skewed manner, or through a lens that I don't know if I'm looking at this incorrectly, but um let me see. Thank you, Lightning Scott. You are looking at it correctly. I don't know. He was fellow Islander. Crip Mac 55 or something like that on YouTube Shorts. Kind of well known, I guess. Was recently arrested on gun charges. Interesting case. It's not the law, Rhode Island Constitution. The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Dude, trust me. You, you have to know that I 100% believe that. And also, the same conversation of if somebody is possessing a machine gun, that's not against the law according to the Constitution. But look at Matt Hoover. Now, he was wrongfully arrested, right? He was, and this is why this is a controversial topic, right? Like, I trust, I get it. Um, the FRT is not the dog to fight for yet. I don't know. I mean, I disagree, respectfully disagree. I think that anything like that is like, look back when we said, what, bump stocks aren't worth the fight. That literally brought us to where we are right now. I don't know. He was a fellow. Da, da, da. Sometimes the law isn't lawful. I totally agree. No, I think you're right, Dark. Slavery was the law. Totally agree. If I got bagged for my P80, it would be slightly different because it was obtained while living out of state. Yeah, I mean that's an interesting way to look at it. Unlawful only because of an edict written on paper by a man. Totally agree. Again, guys, I agree. Like, you're not going to find somebody that agrees more than me. And same thing, getting caught with a machine gun, right? Like, it's. I don't believe that can be illegal. And if I got caught with a machine gun, I'm going to fucking jail because I broke the law. You know what I'm saying? Do I agree with it? Do I think that law is even real? Fuck no. And also, I have to acknowledge the world that we live in. What keeps us in line? Fear of incarceration and death, right? And now, at some point, some people sometimes say, I no longer am fearful of incarceration or death. And maybe people get to that point and they say, you know what? If I get that knock on the door, I'm fucked either way. I could literally willingly put up my hands and say, sir, I will not put up a fight. I will go with you calmly, and I'm boom. Look at bro. Look at CRS. You know, a lot of people say that like when you end up in a situation like that, your life is done. I have never heard from more people that if they get that knock on the door, they're firing off right away, no question, because they're like their life is over either way, even if they did nothing wrong. So I think that's an interesting perspective. Then I'd want you to sell a T-shirt for me. We'll put too many choices on the shirt. Um, you are immune from being arrested for both keeping and bearing arms of any kind, and the 14th Amendment forbids this immunity from being curtailed. Yeah, and you know, t- half a decade of fighting your way up to hundreds of thousands of dollars to the Supreme Court would be the potential. I mean, going to the Supreme Court, you're looking over $1 million of legal battles, or do a fundraiser or something. Hell, that day may come. Yeah, I mean, should we do like preset fundraisers for each of us for you know, the knock on the door fundraiser? I completely agree with you on a side note. I'm gonna stay out of New York State. Yes, good call. Curtailed equals abridged. Yes. Uh, and Rhode Island. Yeah, fuck Rhode Island, bro. Maybe if it's a Tesla. I think Scott, Rhode Island is a nice place, and every time I go home, I am perpetually enraged by its tyranny. Dude, I bet. Uh, Craig Liquor, unfortunately. That's kind of what we're discussing here now. And you know, T for Texas, my bad. I forgot to get back with you the other day, bro. Isn't it funny how on every single live stream I'm apologizing to people for forgetting to get back with them? Um, and you actually sent me another message recently that I saw, and I think I addressed it on this stream. What was it? Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'll figure out what it was. Do 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 do. Oh, I spoke about tactical Scorpion gear earlier. I don't know anything about their plates, but I do know their soft goods are good to go. Their Cordura, their carriers, their $35 low pro concealable plate carrier is the best shit I've ever. I mean, it is. Excuse me, it is incredible. You can literally put level 3 steel plates or you know level 3 you know whatever whatever the fuck plates into these things, and if they're thin level 3 steel plates, you have concealable rifle armor that you literally cannot tell you are wearing. It is so low pro, totally slick. You can add a magazine carrier if you want to, but yeah, it's good to go, man. If you want a link, it doesn't like support the channel, but if you want a link for, I think they're like sub $40 last I checked. Let's see, a lawyer for sure. I'm not getting all the details, but yeah, so yeah, you know, that's the other thing. It's like, you know, we don't know what the whole story is, right? So it's like, you know, I'm sure we're missing some parts of the story, and you know, people get scared and plead out. Yeah, absolutely. Dude, I made a huge mistake when I was a kid and I pled down. Dude, I had a uh well, maybe I shouldn't give all the information out just because it'll make people be able to find me way easier. um let's just say it was marijuana related, and at the time it was a serious charge. Luckily I wasn't convicted of it, thank God, because I have an incredible lawyer. Very expensive. I spent $5,500 as a kid. Luckily, I had the money. But anyway, I had exactly enough to pay for the lawyer. Funny enough, that's how life works. But anyway, I pled guilty to another non-marijuana related charge. This is 15 years ago. Okay, and and it was basically you know, controlled substance related charge. And then later on, 15 years later, anything marijuana related, they're literally just dropping all charges, all history of charges and convictions of all marijuana related offenses. So because I pled down and pled to some stupid ass, I never would have done that if I knew more about, well, anything. And because of what it was and what I pled to, um, if I was able to still have it marijuana related, it would have been off my record like that, but it's not. People need to stop pleading guilty. Curious about the initial stop or run-in. Yeah, I mean, we never get the whole story, Um, yeah, he was caught with a 3D printed firearm and a couple large capacity magazines. But I just wanted to bring it up and let you guys know so I could potentially get some guidance from you guys to make sure that I'm my first thought was give the information to the GOA and see if they can help him, right? Because he doesn't need us to raise $3,000, right? He needs an attorney, a very good, highly skilled attorney. And this may be the fight that they need for Rhode Island to turn around and get fucked on their ridiculous firearm building related stuff, right? Like they are way more strict than almost every other state out there. It's ridiculous. The fact that you can't build firearms is insane. That is literally federally allowed, and California, New York, and other places are doing the same shit. But that may be a fight that they want to take. I just don't know if the difference is Matt was given the okay before he started. This is true. Knowing the bullshit law existed and doing it anyways, I guess Shane is different. But even then, honestly, like even if he didn't call and ask for permission and they gave the okay, and they did, um, it's still a wrongful arrest. Like he was wrongfully arrested. He didn't he didn't break the law that they're accusing him of breaking, right? So it's different. But still, on the other side, this is a law that I think shouldn't exist. I think personally doesn't exist. I think it's fiat law, right? Like, it's not real, right? Side note, DLD After Dark, I got that small code steel katana for $20. Oh, the cold steel katana for $20. And I love that thing. Good tip on that, bro. Hell yeah, man. It's a great blade, man. It's awesome. And there's a bunch of them out there that are similar. The Constitution is supposed to stop this BS. It's supposed to. Yep. You know what helps with fear? Strength in numbers. Facts. Facts. I'd fire after the fact, but that's neither here nor there. It costs money if you get lawyers. Law is written in English. No. Hello, good sir. Warrant? Cool. Lawyer? And I'll see you in court. Yeah. And is near beware. What's up, bro? Off topic, but did you ever have Clint from Classic Firearms on again? No. So he had to reschedule twice, and then he had some stuff pop up, and now he's going to be hosting the Gundies, and he's going to be at SHOT Show, and he was just like, I just need some time to get through the next few weeks, and then we're going to set something up. But I would say it would probably end up being a month or so out before we have him back on. I appreciate you, T for Tejas. DLD After Dark. That's called insurance. Setting up pre-funds for these emergencies. Yeah, sorry, I'm super far behind. True tyranny comes from courts that refuse to respect the Constitution. So you can only identify said tyranny by taking it to trial. I agree. DLD, rate my thumbnail for the video I'm premiering tomorrow. Okay, I'll pull it up. Morningstar facts. That's why the NFA must be challenged directly. That way, people know exactly whether things are one way or the other. If the NFA stands as it is, all rights are subject to taxation. Absolutely. There's nothing to lose if you. Sorry, I'm just kind of catching up. Sucks but true. Unless you were doing it to set legal precedents in mind, best not to try it. Definitely agreed. Base. Morningstar, I disagree. The NFA is based on the Commerce Clause, but yes, completely clarifying where commerce begins, would be a win, even in losing. See, but here's the thing: I even with the interstate commerce clause, it's like if somebody chooses to engage in sale, trade, or bartering of it, like it still should not be. There should be zero restrictions. You know what I mean? It's total bullshit. Um, or SPRs or SPSs or anything else. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's ridiculous. But let's see what happens with the GOA, and maybe reach out to other people and look again. Like I brought this up knowing that it's highly likely soon Craig Licker is going to be released and come out and watch this and see this. And Craig, I want you to know I'm talking to you directly. I care about you. I support you. I think the reason that you were arrested was complete and utter bullshit. I think it is fake law. I think it is fake. It is fiat law. It's pretend. It doesn't exist. And at the same time, we have to be, aware of the world that we live in and know that that shit's real to them. So I'm not saying that you did anything wrong. I'm not saying that I disagree with what you did. I think you should be able to carry any kind of tool that you choose to all day, every day, no question. Um, I'm just trying to look at how do I use this platform for the best of you and everybody or anybody that may be impacted in the future, and still help and support you in this situation, and also help and support other people in the future that are wrongfully arrested. I didn't come on here and say like, oh well, he broke the law, so he deserves any consequences. No, fuck that. I don't think that at all. I hope what I'm saying is not being confused. That's all. Damn, I'm sure I lost a bunch of subscribers tonight, bro. I'm just keeping it real. Like, would you guys rather that I kept it real, or just bullshit and spoke out of both sides of my mouth? The loose read of the Commerce Clause in the 1930s made the rise of government as we have it now possible. Yeah, yeah. They try to acquire the UBS seller via the SOT. Keyword is occupational. So here's the interesting thing. Okay, um, actually, you know what? Here's a perfect example. If Craig Licker had paid $1,500 to the federal government, he could have been driving around with a full auto Glock that he built at his SOT location. And he would have been totally fine. No charges, no arrest, no nothing. If he paid the government, it's like $500 for an SOT, but I think you have to have like an 0702, right? So you have to have your FFL and then your SOT. So I think it's like $1,000 and then $500, so like 1,500 total. But whatever it is, if you pay the government money, then you're fine. Then you're not gonna be at risk of being arrested, which I think is bullshit. Fluffy Bunny, I'm tracking dark. Agree 100%. I appreciate you, man, and that's why I'm asking you guys, because I thank you, Lightning Scott. I agree 100%. Your stomach doesn't stop hurting by dropping fake shit. This is true. Yeah. Now, if you make uh, one on a form one, you're asking to be a one-time kind of individual engaged in the business. 100%. The Commerce Clause expansion is what I'm after. In Rhode Island, only FFLs can have full auto. NFA doesn't apply. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, if he was an SOT, like, if he had an FFL with an SOT, he could have had a Glock 18 with you know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't have mattered. I think that's total and utter bullshit when they're saying it's a safety thing, right? It's all about safety. But you can build as many machine guns as you want if you pay us money. Like what? When keeping it real goes wrong. Yeah. Rather get caught by the cops instead of getting caught lacking. Yeah, absolutely. I've made that decision before too. But also, like, I've made the decision. Um, okay. So let's say there's an individual. and the individual has a channel, a platform. They're a content creator. Let's say they're a live streamer. All right. Now, let's say this live streamer does like 3 streams a week: Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, roughly 10 p.m. Eastern. But sometimes the content creator is habitually late. Okay. Like late all the time. Um, that individual, if they were to like constantly, be forced by family and other people to take vacations in, say, New Jersey, and they were to, always go to New Jersey but never want to run the risk of being caught lacking. If that person were to carry a firearm, with a high capacity magazine, with jacketed hollow points, and all of those things that New Jersey hates, if that person were to be arrested, I would highly doubt that that person would go to his viewers and ask for their financial support, because that person knowingly took that risk to say, you know what, I'd rather get caught with it than get caught without it. You know, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? This is a crazy hypothetical. Would never happen. Yeah. Yeah. I'd ask that they go protest at the city hall. Yeah. You know what? Maybe that's something we can do. Maybe we can literally get a whole, party of mofos to go to the jail to protest with huge free Craig liquor signs. You know what I mean? This is because I was doing the thumbs up. It was, oh man, AI is slowly taking us over. The last thing. Yeah. Anyway, guys, look, um, how much you need? I'd ask that they give protest for that instance. Start a GoFundMe. So that's another thing I was considering is like, what if I started a GoFundMe for him and just said, okay, if you guys choose to contribute, you can contribute, or do or don't. It's totally up to you. And then we kind of put it out there just so people, you know, have the option to, if they choose to. Free liquor. Oh, no, wait. Oh man, see, that's the other thing. We don't know if bail is an even option, or what he needs, or you know, really it would be bail and an attorney, right? An attorney could get him out, you know, Thursday, right? Like that would really be, in my opinion, that is the best and most effective method of helping him. Or whatever is better than go for, you know what I mean? Yeah, like some type of crowdfunding thing. AI knows it's a good idea. Yeah, it's scary. I don't know. I want to help him. Let's see if we can get him some support um, through the GOA, and we'll go from there. But Craig, again, bro, I love you. I care about you, and I want to support you. And let's see, how we can do that. But if I just were to make a Give Send Go or a GoFundMe and push it out there to people, I don't know if that's the right thing to do, especially when we don't have an idea of what's going on, what to expect, or can you get bail, or what the goal is, and all that. Let's see if we can get you a lawyer. I think the reason that you got arrested is absolute dog shit. I think it's illegal for them to do, and also that's currently the law in Rhode Island. Do I agree with it? Absolutely not. And it's just, it is what it is. Yes, Craig is in jail right now. He is currently in jail. Sucks, man. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, man. I just wanted to bring it up to you guys and let you know. Yeah, my favorite business sign ever: liquor in the front, poker in the rear. Yeah, in the front, poker in the rear. Yeah, yeah, I had to. Yeah, yeah, dude. Look, I appreciate all you guys. Okay, and there may be a day that one of us is in a situation like this, and I may feel differently if I'm the one in that situation, but just we love you, Craig. We do. Here you go. Let's put that up there. Bam. We love you, Craig. Craig, how you get fired on your day off? Rusty, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, it's fudged up, man. I don't know. You too, love life. Appreciate you, man. Live life. Live life. Live life, love. Yeah. All right, brother. All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap it up, man. Look, in the end, like I always say, support the people that support us, right? Let's support. If you go in the description of this video, you can literally go, support Goombeam and also support my channel by going in the. That looks so crazy. Just the shadow alone is like insane, dude. It's crazy. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I can't really grab it like I could before, but yeah, it's crazy, man. The Goon Beams that are available now are crazy. There will be more blue Goon Beams coming out in the future, but they're going to be the other handhelds like this bad boy, and also weapon light and also a pistol light. So like a rifle mounted light and also a pistol light. So that's going to be fire. And you can support the channel and also support Goombeam by using the link in the description and using code DARK, and you save money on your purchase. And also, I was already planning on putting them up, but I haven't been able to. You can literally, within sometime this week, you can literally purchase Goombeams on DLD hardware. I will be uploading additional merch items to DLD hardware. Do me a favor, go take a look and just kind of browse through. I'd love to hear y'all's feedback. Um, um, if we can help you with Subdark. Yeah, if you missed it, we kind of just went through the discussion of it, and I'm going to see basically if the GOA can help first, and then we'll see what we can do. I don't want to make it sound like like I don't want to support him, and you know what I mean. Like it puts me in a difficult situation, y'all. Like because I disagree with everything that happened, and also, but I don't want to sound like I'm taking a stance of like, well, you did the crime, you do the time. I'm not saying that at all. I just, I don't know. But yeah, fuck that. Let's see if we can help him and what we can do, and we'll go from there. If we do end up needing to do you know, GoFundMe type of account or Give Send Go or something, I'll keep you guys posted, and I'll do everything I can to help. That's I also know that look, all of us need help. I need help right now. You know what I'm saying? Like so for me to go to you guys and constantly ask for help, and ask for money, like I am really uncomfortable about doing that. So how could I ever feel comfortable about constantly coming to you guys about something when, you know, a lot of people are going to be like, yo, if somebody made a decision to do that, I'm not going to pay for it. And I feel you, I get it. But also what they did wasn't wrong. It just happened to be illegal on the books. So I don't know. It's a fucked up situation. But anyway, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate all you guys, honestly. But yeah, like I said, let's support the companies that support us, right? Let's support Goonbeam. You can use the link in the description. PR Triggers, Gideon Optics. You can use code Glowies. But for PR Triggers and stuff from that site, you need to hit me up to get a link. You need to hit me up on Instagram or something like that. I'll send it to you, and then give you a discount code too. Tack knives, dude. There's so many new dope tack knives coming out. Their folders are like dirt cheap, but they're solid. I'm gonna pick up some folders myself. They're putting out some fire. I'm impressed with what they're doing. And also, not only tack knives, if you use code DARK with tack knives, you get 20% off of your order. That's fire. Love it. And other companies like AR Takedown Tool, Aegis Gun Care. Um, I am also um, aligning myself, I guess. There's a super based coffee company that is owned by a very, very, very um, constitutional conscious individual that is a gun builder, and they do these like small batch local roasts with like the best quality beans. It's insane. So um, I'm gonna be putting something together there. We got the DLD barrels coming out. The DLD barrels are literally being lasered like right now, and over the next week they're gonna be lasered. And there may be some of the DLD Glock barrels. There's gonna be Glock 19 barrels. There's gonna be Glock 17 barrels, and there's gonna be a couple threaded 19 barrels. And some of them are just gonna have the DLD logo, and some of them may actually say, like, PWEDC in an inconspicuous area. Some of them may literally say, "What's in your wallet?" And oh, dude, it's gonna be so dope. I'm pumped to, get my hands on some of those. I'm at least gonna keep 117 and 119 just, for myself. I'm just keeping it real. But instead of, the typical 99 to 149 bucks that they sell for, I'm just literally gonna keep the price at 99 bucks. You'll be able to get them just the same as other companies that sell barrels just like that, that make them for certain companies, that you may find some similarities between like dagger barrels or polymer 80 barrels or other Glock barrels that all of you guys know and use in your builds. But for 99 bucks, it's a really good, it's a fair cost. It covers the cost of lasering. And, yeah, so it's not a moneymaker, right? It's just, whatever. Same thing as merch, right? Like, making $4 to $9 off of merch stuff. It's just supporting the channel, right? It's not a big money maker. But anyway, I honestly I really appreciate all the support that you guys do. Just coming in here and chilling like for 3.5 hours, like that's insane, man. I appreciate you guys so much. I also have some other stuff. Damn, man, so much going on right now. Just new stuff coming out. If you guys could support the new channel, like that would be super super helpful. If you guys go to I think I have the link right now. Actually, if one of the mods out there, if you could get the my other channel, which is at DLD TV 2023. It's just called DLD TV, but um that's my new channel, and I'm posting shorts to it. Most of the shorts are just which one would you choose, like the M9 or the M9A3. This Glock, this Glock, this Glock, but I'm like kind of being funny with it, and I'm like rhyming, but it's gonna get so ridiculous. This is gonna be like the strap Seuss, the strap Dr. Seuss, the Seuss strap Seuss. Um, yes, DLD TV 2023. Bam, bro. I appreciate you, man. I think that's the one, right? Bro, why is none of this working right now? Hang on. None of my other tabs are working. That's not good. Do I not have? Yo, what is the deal? Did they knock me off here? Yeah, I don't know. Something's going on here with YouTube Studio and YouTube. Um, But anyway, look, I appreciate you guys. Kurt, I appreciate you as well, brother, man. Morningstar, you're the man. All you guys. And guys, remember, as far as like us as individuals, the only thing that will set you apart from the rest of the bullshit in the world is holding yourself to rules and holding yourself accountable, or being held accountable to standards and expectations. Some of the rules that I share with you guys from me personally, I grab a select few and share them with you at the closing of every single show. And that is rule number one is to be kind. It's so important that we're kind in everything that we do. That brief interaction that you have with somebody else could have a massive impact on their life. So just be kind. Rule number two is to live a life of care, compassion, contribution, give to others. When you bless others, you become blessed. A hand that's open to give is open to receive. Rule number three, because we know the only way for us to defeat evil is with good men skilled in violence. Make sure that you're becoming as highly skilled in violence as you possibly can be. Be safe, be dangerous, and keep that thing on you. And right now, in the state that we are in, not the state, like geographically, like with the state of the world. I really, really, really feel like we are in extremely tumultuous times, and that right now our future has never seemed more, unfavorable and bleak than right now. So I would encourage all of you to take this time to get right with God, get right with God, get right with your family, say all the things that you need to say before leaving and going anywhere. Like, you may go to the door, and the last thing that you may ever say to your family is, "I'll be right back." Okay? So take this shit seriously. I care about you guys, but I care about your eternal souls too, okay? And I don't usually get all religious and stuff like that, but I have this like burning sense of urgency to make sure that all of us are in a good condition in their relationship with their God. So you know, yeah, if you guys ever want to talk about anything like that, or if you guys have any questions or anything, or maybe you have a like I did, a a spotty history when it comes to, religion, and having a previous relationship with God, and then kind of having a difficult time, and then getting back into it and finding a church, and it's helped me tremendously. And if anyone out there has any questions about it, or if you want to chat, talk, if anyone has any, just wants to talk, I am not a professional, but if anyone wants to talk about like substance abuse or recovery or anything like that at all, or you just want to talk about guns and building shit, holla at your boy. But follow the law, follow the rules, regulations, restrictions, ordinance, sanctions, all that. Even though it's bullshit, fear of incarceration and fear of death is what keeps us in line. Is it right? Absolutely not. But I want you guys to be able to live life. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Peace. Last thing before I forget, I asked you guys of this, but if you could, I'm not religious, but I believe there's something out there bigger than me. At least, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's one of the things, man. That's creation, right? Like that. That's that is proof of the creator. Whatever you and each individual believes, that's you. But at the same time, in our world, when we elevate creation over creator, we're destined for hell. I was just going to give a reminder, if you guys could, when you get a moment, if you could go to DLD Hardware and just look around, take a look through the merch. Let me know if you guys like what you see. Let me know if you want to see some changes, or if you have any ideas. I would love ideas on that stuff. It would help me so much. And guys, take it easy. Take care of yourselves. Be safe. And yeah, I'll see y'all on Thursday at 10 p.m. ish. All right. Love y'all. Be safe. Peace.
Devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand, got my hand. Call
Love you guys. Be safe. Be easy. Stay strapped. Walk with God. And I'll catch you on the flip side. All right. And don't forget, we do an uncensored podcast every